Good evening, everybody. It is Monday night. We've got B3 action to start us off for this evening. We were actually anticipating to hop in a little bit earlier, but the games were a little bit delayed. So we've got Tucker, Yoon, TJ, and Drew starting us off in this matchup. Tucker, of course, at the top of the B3 standings, has had a great performance so far. We'll see if they can keep it up. Yoon has been doing quite well as well, up in fourth place in the guaranteed promotion zone, at least for now, with 2 games to go in this series. TJ is just outside of that zone with plus 71.6 and hoping to climb tonight. And for Drew at minus 59.1, currently out of relegation zone in this quite large B3 division, 28 players and currently 20th, hoping to stay out of that zone with a positive performance. So a lot to play for here in session 5.
I feel the story of this division is Tucker just finally getting it together. This is someone who's had probably the most wild coaster ride of anyone in Armel history. Got all the way up to A1 and has been on a downward trend ever since and seems to have finally gotten that momentum built back up and looking to make a big push here towards B2 and hopefully further beyond. But we start off here with Drew as first dealer here. That's little Honitsu hand. Don't even necessarily need it with Haku and Tudora. On the right, looks like a Cheetoy. Few pairs, shapes are awful, so that's when you tend to go Cheetoy. Across the way, kind of a Pinfu hand, a little slow though. And on the left, pair of South, but it's not South round, so that's not particularly useful. Connects to the Dora there, so maybe just a Tanyao. Potentially recheat Pinfu Tanyao. Dora would be the best route to Mangan.
Yeah, we saw Drew, like you said, look kind of like a Honitsu hand, but wasn't committed to it with the early pay cut. Immediately backfired with a follow up pay draw. So we'll see if he shifts back towards a Honitsu or if he just calls for Hakudor 2. Maybe even Shitoi with there's 4 pairs here, but I don't think that's the plan.
I feel if you get Cheetoy, you're just going Ipeco anyway, so it's not worth it.
That's probably the most likely scenario. We'll see if a West can get paired up. That might be an indicator of shifting to Honitsu, but only 2 in the wall for that.
Nice upgrade there on the left for Tucker. Pulls that in completed Dora shape, but you have the ugly 2-4-4-5, and we'll slim that down with 2-so cut. Dealer draws a 7-so, does nothing. Really, anything other than Manzu draw or any sort of low Pinzu draw is going to be completely useless for the hand. And speaking of pairs, on the right we have what definitely looks like an Ipeco here now. Might go all the way for the Chinitsu, though, with how the rest of the hand's shaped up.
Kind of awkward tiles, even though in the Pinzu itself, 1-4 pin, overlapping acceptance there. And yeah, we see the 6-mon come out, so TG definitely thinking about the full Chinitsu.
I think the decision was made last turn. If you're cutting the 8-mon from that hand, you're probably just going for it. There was a 6-7-8 Sanjku route if you wanted to go for a more conventional style, but just seeing value here. And unfortunately, the dealer has all the value.
Yeah, finds the 5-mon Ishantan now, with a potential Shabo 2-pin Haku, but 1-mon draw could be an interesting one.
What about a 1-pin? Nope.
Ooh. You, of course, can discard the 1-mon there and hold for the extra acceptance of the 3-pin. Maybe Drew has a sense that those are not
Oh,
live.
there goes our Haku. Is this going to be Tenpai or is this a greedy play for the Honitsu? You only get one extra Han equivalent because going 3 to 4 not particularly useful here. I would just take the Tenpai. That's going to be the play here. This is 3-sided 2-5-8 mon.
Yeah, although 3 to 4 as dealer is.
All these 5 looks
Oh.
really bad, and there it goes. Haku, Dora 2, 5,800, and a nice start for Drew.
Drew will welcome that early start to this game. This side may be a little bit harder, though, to build value immediately.
Yeah, I've seen far worse. This looks like pretty standard Rishi Pinfu, maybe Tanya can accept Dora. The shapes aren't bad. The floaters are great.
Ooh.
And now you're looking even at that potential 5-6-7 Sanjku on the right. Probably a little bit better, especially cut the 1-so here, or maybe the south. As that looks like a Richi Pinfu Tanya as well. Across the way, Hatsu pair, maybe just call and go. I don't see much value there, but it seems easy and fast, so just take it. And on the left, Yakuhai pair, 2 Dora. Don't really need to see anything else in the hand to like it.
Well, now Toyman has drawn into Ishantan, so they might even pass the first Hatsu here and try to greed the Ricci at least, but maybe even Ipeco shift. kind of excited to...
Tucker definitely, though, in the lead here. Definitely needs that east. And we'll just go ahead and cut the 5. Has definitely decided these are the final blocks. Doesn't have to worry about the rest of the hand. And a nice little upgrade there for Drew. But the hand's a little slower than you'd like around turn 5. You still have great floaters, but you're not really hoping for floaters at this point.
And notably here, Tucker not calling Atosge the 3-pin. So still hoping to get there closed, or to see the east first.
Chi.
The first call will be there on the right. TJ goes and goes for the Tanya, maybe Dora.
Is one of the slower hands hoping to speed it up with the act of calling. Still the east in the wall, Hatsu in the wall, all these Yakuhai yet to be seen. And the longer it goes, the more likely it is
Yeah,
to find Richi's.
well, not only that, but the longer it goes, the longer someone goes, wait, why hasn't this come out? And then we have Tempai for dealer, Sanchoku Dora.
Each.
Could even reach this, waiting on 2-pin. Riichi Sanchoku Dora. Nice build.
Yeah, well done, well constructed. And now, Yoon gets that value upgrade to Ipeko.
Gets a 2, but it's the wrong one. Needs a 2-pin. We see 1 in the right hand and 3 in the wall.
If I knew I had 3 tiles in the wall for this Kanchan, I'd be very happy. But no, that's the wrong player to draw it.
Because that's going to fit in the hand here, but may just have an incentive to fold this out. The problem with a hand like this, though, is maybe if you run out of tiles, you'll end up cutting the 3s and copying yourself off, but there goes the 7. And we have a Riichi Ipeko across the way on 2-5 mon.
That tile, or that weight rather, 4 left in the wall. 2 2s, 2 5s. Oh, Ipatsumo.
Just sumo, Riichi Ipatsu Sumo, Ipeko. Nope, doesn't hit the aura. When you have that Ipeko, you're always just dreaming of the aura too there. But you'll definitely take a Mangan and an extra Riichi stick from the dealer. And we'll move on to East 2.
Yeah, both the
Dealer here is going to be TJ with a pretty nice hand, but not too much value here. That 8-so is a great start to work this hand. Maybe 6-7-8 Sanchoku is probably your best route. On the right, kind of a Pinfu hand, nothing fancy there. You have a Dora, maybe he's called down for Tanya. Across the way, kind of a Pinfu standard hand, but really slow. You have a double penchant basically, and a 2-4-so. It's one of those, you see the blocks, you're just not happy with it. 7-8-9 seems like the best. Sanchoku seems like the best route. On the left, we have a Haku pair up, which is a nice fill for this hand that's definitely heading towards Honitsu, maybe Honitsu Toy Toy.
Of course, would love to pair up some more dragons to make things exciting. One Hatsu held, one Haku out, but the rest are in the wall. Uncleville for Tucker across the table means his hand's moving towards Riichi, but you could still find a pair elsewhere, or even slim that Anko down, back down to a pair and find Sanchoku.
I already see Drew just go to the 2-pin here. Doesn't really believe in the Honitsu, but does have Ipeko and Chitoitsu routes. Could even pull this. I'd probably call this.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Korak pulled here. And it's your last chance to pull it. That was the final, the 4th 1-pin.
And that just, you kind of locked yourself into needing the very last Haku, or just forcing yourself into Chitoy if you don't call that.
We'll see how Drew handles the shapes as they are now. TJ hoping to draw 3 mon to incorporate the door into this hand. Still, with 2 Kanchans, a little bit awkward there. Maybe advantage Yoon right now, sitting Ishanten on the right.
Decides to pass the 4-pin call. Could kind of maneuver this around towards the Tanya, but you'd be out to Zucchini in the 6-pin. So certainly understandable past that. Dealer's hand hasn't really budged. It looked promising at the start, it's just nothing. You look at the pot, you go, oh, that's why.
Yeah, the draws haven't really been accommodating for TJ. West-West might come out later and just play defensively as one door visible. Oh.
It's an Ipeko upgrade. Lots of options. Just throws it back. What do you want to cut from that shape? Because I kind of want to just cut the 7-mon and see what happens.
I just hate to lose the door. I have a chance of losing the door, even if it's for Ipeko. I think I might just throw it back as well, because we can still accept the 4, so
Well, you can still accept the door even if you do that. You just plan to pair it up and cut 4-4.
that's true. Well, here's that 4, so now we might see the 7 come out.
Now just pin fu, and yet there goes the 7. You're looking for something to connect to that door, so you don't have to worry about it. But if you
Gee.
get just the Ricci pin fu, it's probably good enough. But now we see a 2 call here on the left. Now that 2 mon gets a little scarier, but just fill it in. Now you're very sad about the 7 mon cut.
Yeah, in the meantime, TJ pulls in the 3 Mondor connector, but now has to worry about the 5010 of the 7-8 pin Diamond.
Dealer also Ishunten that 4 actually does fit in this hand. Now he keeps safety.
Eats.
And there's our temp by on the right. Ricci, Pinfudora, waiting on 2 5s. So we see 3 2s and 0 5s. So 5 outs left.
Not bad at all. And the other players were getting really close too. Tucker Ishunten for potential Sanako, but draws a 2, so Tucker's got.
I mean, the hand is so bad at this point. It's one of those hands that just gets you in trouble if you try and force it. I don't see any reason to just push this. It's going to kind of hedge everything. If Tempai is reached, then it's going to go ahead and slam it, I presume.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. But this 3 might end things.
Gives a Chitoy route, but probably just giving up at this point. Dealer could call here for K10. I would definitely cheat this. Oh, well, never mind. Just draw the perfect tile. You are 4-10 here. So we'll just Dama. There goes the 5, so that may be the end of this.
Oh, it just bails with Haku
Yeah,
Haku.
and I don't want anything to do with this. Oh, there's the 9. It doesn't deal in because it's 4-10.
That was the last 9, so TJ knows that this weight is really, really bad. But so far, safe tile's drawn.
Well, it doesn't really matter. 1,000 points, 1,000 points. Just what's that last draw?
Tough choice for Drew.
That 1 pin's actually a bit of a shove. I'm kind of surprised that came out.
TJ might
See,
try
oh, I guess there is a
Sumo.
copy. Oh, just draw the 5, so Ricci, Sumo, Pinfudora.
Whoa.
And the Oral boosts this to a Mangan, a huge win, and Yun's just kind of running away with this game now.
Back-to-back Mangan Sumos. We saw already as we swap sides a pull already and a second Tucker Ishunten for
Yeah, that's some value. If only that Hatsu were an East Pone.
right.
Boom.
Oh, how
Well, now you get to see the fun. So this is Chanta on the 9 and Dora on the 6. Right now it is just Honitsu Hatsu, but will be a Mangan either way.
and I wonder if Tucker will.
I feel that 9 pin just comes out on the left fairly early. I mean, it does fit with the 5 pin as needing, but you just want to go Tanya so much of the hand like that. So it's not going to come out immediately, but it might fall. Oh, 1 so interesting. I'm trying to figure out what Yoon's doing with this hand. Seems to be preemptively folding. I thought the hand was okay. Just very scared of that hand from Tucker.
I think Yun is saying I can't cut the East. I can't cut this Haku because it could be Tsuiso. And therefore is making the decision to just get out of here.
We'll know for sure if the Tuso gets cut here. Okay, yeah, that is definitely an I'm out of here.
Tucker had the option to pick 1-pin Tonki, which of course it
Ishanten
backfires.
across the way. Try and shut this nonsense down.
Oh, this would be Tempai.
I think you just call it.
Boom.
It's good enough. You're as scared as the rest of the table, and you're just waiting on that safe 3 pin. You're perfectly fine with 1,000 here. Could see the toy upgrade, but it doesn't matter because there's no extra value in doing so. I think just throwing it back makes a lot more sense. Man, if you're TJ, you do not want to see a 3 pin.
No, this would be. Oh no, that's Tempai 2.
Which
Tanya
one's going to be
Sanshoku.
taken? The 2 is safe, but
Boom.
there goes the 9. Takes the Sanshoku, and that's going to deal in for a Hatsu, Chanta, Honitsu, Mangan. drops down to 10,100, and Tucker over 30K now. We'll have dealer turn here, and he's 4.
On a broken high pie. Not surprising to see it win. It might have broken our server as well. Might have to refresh this one. Last time I saw a high pie like that, it was Mochi Mochi on 2 of the honors, and so it didn't go anywhere.
I hate those, but Tucker has a great starting end here. Richie Pin Futanya. There are Rion Peiko routes even here. Always something to get your attention. On the right, 79 Sanchiku looks pretty good. The rest of the shapes aren't bad across the way. Kind of a Pinfu. Feels a little slower though. Also the Doran on the left, we have a pay pair. And passes the third pay. I don't remember that was drawn last turn, but as now you're just looking for that last north to be able to use it. May end up just cutting that pair ultimately. The rest of the shapes though are really good.
Yeah, still quite like Tucker's hand as dealer. Oh, but there's the last pay.
Well, that solves the problem, doesn't it?
Yeah, if that was a pass, it was a good pass. Always feels nice when you draw the tile you let go earlier. And I guess the other competing hand is TJ with Tudora. But three hands that look really exciting.
Well, now we're just Ishunton on the left. I think you just cut the 2 pin here. We'll cut the 5, not really hedging the Peiko. Just wants to get rid of the more dangerous 5 right now.
This 3 so helps Drew making a block in the lower Sozu, but that also means that Sanchoku is a little harder to find here because we need a pair.
Well, you're kind of hedging Sanchiku and Itsu, and you're dreaming of Chinitsu. You're not expecting it, but you're dreaming.
Yeah, you don't feel so bad cutting something like an 8 pin, 9 pin if it means accepting more Sozu. Save for 7-9 Concho in the Banzu. Ishunten on the left, perfect Ishunten.
Yeah, was Ishunton already, but does upgrade to the perfect Ishunton, which is always nice.
And then Tucker's got 2 Nakabukude shapes. Be interesting to see how they choose to play it once one of these tiles is drawn.
Well, the other thing is TJ sitting here with Kudora and saying, just get me Tempai.
Okay, so 5 pin cut's kind of interesting, playing for the Chitoi slash Hakupon. Or maybe even Dion Pig. Oh, just draw the Haku.
Each.
Just slams it, Ricci, Haku, possibly Peiko. The 5 is kind of bad, though. Only 1 left on the wall. The 8 has 2.
3 tiles live, and now pressure on Yun, who can fold with pay, but had a nice hand. And will fight.
This is also a dealer challenging you in first place, so I think I prefer a little more passivity here. But with that hand, you can certainly see the argument for just going for it. And immediately, just the next turn says, I'm not going to throw that.
Yeah, the 5 pin was the tile before the Ricci.
No, an immediate punish. If you're
Can't.
going to push, push. If you're going to fold, fold. I feel there was a little bit of indecisiveness in there that definitely hurt.
Yeah, we'll see if you can work back towards Tempai. There's a pair
Oh,
again.
just pair up the 3. Now I can just call this down for Tempai, potentially.
Still 3.
That should be a call. I think you have to take this.
Chi.
And is Tempai waiting on Dora and 8mon. Of course, the 8mon is now locked in that hand off to the left. It is completely dead.
3-mon also completely dead.
But 1 Dora still. Oh no!
Oh, that's the worst possible scenario.
Can cut the Dora for the better weight, but instead throws the 5, which certainly makes sense here. But that is the expensive end of the dealer, Ricci Peiko Haku, and that'll be 7,700. And it just gets a little worse here for TJ.
Yeah,
Who
certainly.
doesn't really have the buffer in the standings to take this, but we still have a long way to go here.
When you've got that Dora too, you don't that's the reason you're fighting for your hand for maybe the potential Mangan. You don't want to drop the Dora, even against Di Ricci as well. So it makes sense if you're going to fight with a 5-so, and if you're not going to fight, maybe fold out instead, or at
Well,
least attempt
Tucker
to.
off of that one will be dealer again here, and he's 4-1. Possible Junchan routes. Honestly, I'm looking for any excuse here to cut the 5-pin, and you kind of see that from the initial 5-so cut. There are a
Hmm.
lot of ways this hand can get a lot more flexible than it may appear immediately. On the right, we have a Hatsu pair. So that's probably just a call and go type hand. Not much value, but you also have the home in the middle. Across the way, kind of a Pinfu hand, nothing special. Ryankan, Ryankan. So, nothing bad, nothing good. And on the left, well, I say nothing bad. It's not like the worst, but it's not a good hand. There's no value. The shapes don't look particularly good to use. Kanchan's everywhere.
1、
No real Dora acceptance. This is not a fun hand. On the right, though, we see the 6-mon has been cheed. Now Ishunten looking to call this down.
本、
That is the last shot. So it's going to be called Atazuke. And this Hatsu that's stuck in Yoon's hand just probably deals in for 1,000. Or either 1,300 as there is a Homba. I don't really see a reason to hold on to it.
本
And
部、
this is an interesting choice. Ennui just says, you know what, we're going for it. And I feel if you're going to make that pawn, you should always be cutting 5-pin, though.
Yeah, maybe playing for a backdoor Toy if another pair is found, but feels like maybe it's a little easier to get a draw 1-mon or 2-mon and make your way towards the Junchan. We've seen Yoon
Well, yeah, and
play.
there it goes. The thing is, when you're going for a Chanto, the 3 isn't a terrible tile. You accept the 2 and the 1, and it gives you calling routes. It's not ideal, of course, especially when it looks like very much a Horitsu. Probably just trying to get rid of it now. And this may just be the DLN.
ロン、
And there it goes.
Fortunately for you, no door in that hand, so we'll maintain the lead heading into the
And
second.
generally, when you're in first place, shutting down second place's dealer turn with a cheap hand is perfectly fine. Deal here is going to be Drew. Chun pair, pretty good shapes, callable hand. Not too much value yet, though, on the right. See, the 1-pin pair up, 2 completed runs, and Ryanman, including Dora. Great start. He had Reach Pin Food Dora, just set up. Not too much to think about. This is just play it straightforward and hope to connect that floating 3-so. Across the way, Pin Fu hand, nothing fancy here. Shapes aren't great. You have a 2-4-6, and then that 3-4-4-6 in so, which is kind of ugly. Maybe a 1-2-3 Sajku shift now, maybe, but ugh. On the left, we have the South pair. South is, of course, now Yakuhai as we were in South 1. The rest of the tiles, though, not great. Maybe kind of hedging towards Honetsu.
And there wasn't going to be much to think about for TJ after pulling in the
本
2-so connection to 3, but now a second door has been drawn. And we'll have to decide how to use that. If we draw something like 5-mon, you could even 1-pin and aim for Pinfu again, or you could just slam the Ricci.
Well, this is one of the things where TJ's in a position in the standings where you run, look for value, but I don't think you really want to ruin a hand like this. Ricci Pin Fudora is just really good.
Yeah, on the other hand, if you draw 1-so, 4-so, you have the choice between taking the Shabo that uses both Dora or dropping a Dora for Pinfu.
Pinfu, definitely the more normal play. It depends on how much you think the other side of the weight is good. And we're about to find out, because I think this has to be a Ricci. The question is,
1、
which weight do you take? And just takes the normal 5-8 Ryanman Ricci Pin Fudora. Dealer currently Tempai waiting on 6-pin for Chunomi. And we have Tempai on the left for Chitoy.
So 6-pin and 7-pin as Tonkis are winning tiles. Oh, and the 6!
Oh,
Don't.
the 6!
Oh,
Oh, you just feel so bad when that deals in. Really? Random 6-pin?
nothing going right for TJ in this game. That is tragic.
Drew more than happy to take that though. And we'll have another dealer turn. Shapes here are kind of ugly. When you have that 1-3-3-4 as kind of your best shape of the hand, 779 mon as well, but there's no value. There's no real route to anything in this hand. On the right, we have kind of a Pinfu, maybe Tanyao type hand. 5 mon to help immensely across the way. Pinfu, but man, those shapes stink. I kind of just want to brute force Itsu and Sozu here with the 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9. His hand just ugly. On the left, maybe some sort of 789 Sanshiku hedge, but that's also another just yuck hand. Some real stinkers here.
That means we get to see the hand construction all across the board. TJ did draw a Dora. It's loose in the hand. Just a floating tile right now. The 4-pin connects the 5, not the Dora, so we'll see if he manages to make use of it.
Door is really hard to use, and honestly, when I'm looking at a hand like that, I'm thinking, okay, 4, 5, 6 Sanshiku. If I connect to the door, great. If not, the door is just gone.
Yeah, sometimes you think about playing for Dora Tonki, but there's already 2 pairs in this hand, so it's a little difficult
Yeah,
to
it doesn't
do.
really make sense. And if you draw the 3, you're like, hey, I connect to the 1, 2, 2, but no, you need the 3 for the 4, 5 anyway. You just end up going Tanya with this hand as your alternate route.
Drew's hand starting to take shape a little bit. 1, 3, 5, 7 in the Manzu could do some patching up, but you could find yourself a 3, 4, 5 Sanchoku.
The hands still all stink. I'm not happy with any of these. Dealers is starting to come together, but it still needs work.
Oh, big 3 so
And that
draw.
3, so now you're thinking you actually have a hand here. Because that actually gives you some flexibility in this hand. Question is what to cut. Just gonna lock in the 7 so pair, plan for the Ricci Dora being the best route here. But needs to fill out a couple shapes, possibly Peiko, because you're really looking to draw the 3 so cut the 1, 2 now.
Yeah, planning for Tanya might be the best route here.
Meanwhile, Dealer has gotten to decent shape, but it's still not even Ishunten.
Still hoping for 4-pin draw. Oh, sorry, 4 Mon draw.
Goodbye, Dora. I just don't think it fits anymore. No, is just gonna go ahead and squeeze. It feels that the value
Chi.
is too important, but I just don't see any value here.
And now it's a little tricky to discard against a Tanyo hand.
Yeah, now you're a little more scared of it. This is one of those things that when you have that Dora, there's always a question, when do I throw it? The answer is when your hand doesn't need it anymore. And I just don't see it ever fitting in there. Because even if you pair up, what are we going to do with it?
Yeah, we're just gonna have to swap out 2-pin for it.
Ishanta now on the left with 2 Dora. So that's definitely the best hand, I'd say. Hand across is Ishanten, just for the Tanya Dora 1, but he's the 7-pin door indicator. Interestingly, all 3 are still on the wall.
Usually a very in-demand tile. Crazy that
Well,
they're
it
all
is in
alive.
demand, but no one has it.
Oh, Tenpai now on that 7-pin. Ishanten for dealing.
Sometimes the one who demands it the most is the wall.
I just well look at the dead walls, see them all lined up on the top row there next to the one showing.
Well, there's our Tempai on the left. I think you just have to slam this. You don't have a Yaku. Damas, I don't like this. Feeling the
Each.
door is never coming out. And there's our Tempai for dealer. We'll reach you. Wait, what?
Not the
Oh, I
Suji trap.
hate that. Going for the Nakazuji here. I think you always should just reach you on the 3. Get the 5, 6 weight.
Now the 8 Mon is I think 3 out. So almost a Nakazuji if you got the 3 Mon there as well.
Will the 2 be pushed to keep Tempai? Can also throw the 1 so and basically give up on this hand.
Feeling one so.
Yeah, gives up on it.
And looks like everyone's gonna be backing away. Except for Yun.
2 players Tempai. I said the hands all stunk and nothing finished. which is what tends to happen, but we're in South 1-2 now. And dealer has a better hand here. Probably still just Tanya, but man, if you could get that 6-0 Dora, then this hand all of a sudden looked really good. You're looking for Sanchoku, Tanya, Dora, lots of calling options, lots of value options. Gonna hold the South here. Never like the pension. That's one where I look at it and I almost just want to cut the 9-so from the start.
Hmm. Hedge that Tanya, and you still get the 6-0 acceptance with a nice
Right,
jump
and you
country.
don't even really want the 7, because then you're thinking at best Richinomi. But I don't hate the 2 pin's perfectly acceptable. On the right, I mean, that's a lot of lower Pinzu. You're looking for the possible Toy Toy Chinitsu route. There's also Ipeco, and the rest of the tiles, though, are a complete mess. Across the way, definitely Pinfuhan. That's actually perfect Ishunten for Richi Pinfu Dora. And there it
1
is. That's just template. Which weight do you take? We'll take the 6-9 here, looking for the extra sumo. Of course, if we wait on the pay, that's always the most disgusting feeling. Someone throws it, and you row, and then just blank looks at the rest of the table.
That was early enough that there's a decent probability that Tucker was still holding one as their seat went.
And Tucker is now building towards this, but just going to try and fold out. This 5 is one chance on the 2 side, with the 8 making no longer a double Suji. Oh,
Collecting
and could even go Cheetoy now. Ishunten there.
four mana is Naka Suji, so if you draw the So tile, you can.
Yeah, I think he's just Dama. I don't ever want to Richi this garbage, but I don't mind
質問
just... Well, doesn't matter. Just Suba, Richi Suba, Pinfudora. Just extending the lead even further. Doesn't even need the Aura. Will be over 54,000 as we head to South 2.
Yoon was definitely considering opening up for Tanya on a 2 earlier, but did well to pass it and got rewarded with the Ricci.
Well, this is kind of TJ's last chance to make anything. When you're on that dealer turn in South round, you're sitting with a negative in front of your name. You're not happy, but this is definitely a callable Tanya Odora 1 type hand, so you can't really ask for too much more. On the right, come to Pinfu hand, maybe Yupeko in Manzu, also accept Odora. Across the way, Pei Unko, but Pei is not the Yakuhai there, so probably reaching Nomi and kind of bad shapes everywhere else. Kind of hard to maneuver because you look for any sort of upgrade, and I'm just not really seeing it there. On the left, few pairs, maybe kind of just hedge towards Cheetoy and a regular hand at the same time. Thinks the hand is so bad that the 8 so comes out before the lone pay. Oh, speaking of Cheetoy, though, this is a super greedy play by TJ. Just wants this brute force Cheetoy. I don't really think that's how this hand should have gone. I guess there's a Toy route, but then you'd have to cut Dora. It feels like it's a plan for Cheetoy Dora too.
Yeah, the East was paired up after the first one came out and made things a little bit awkward. The Tanya plan got hindered a little bit, and you're not guaranteed to see that last East. And just hoping to pair up the Dora, as you said.
And you can kind of hedge both of them if you'd have cut the 2s
Mm-hmm.
right now instead of the 5-6. You can keep both options open. And when you're doing Cheetoy in a much more standard way, that's what's going to end up happening a lot of the time, is you've pretty well disguised that you're still building towards a normal hand. Whereas here, people looking at your pawn and go, okay, random on or random on. Wait, you cut a Rionman? What is going on here? And that should get the table's attention.
Now, the table's attention is kind of the last thing you're looking for as a dealer playing for Cheat Toy, but here's the East, decision time.
ポン
Just go ahead and tries to call it. I think if you're going to do this, you need to cut the 7, so definitely brute forcing Toy Toy out of this. Would take the 7 pin, though, I assume.
Yeah, at this point, you're just hoping for literally anything. Well, there's the 8, it's 2d10, but you've got some time to call that back.
Doesn't want it. Throwing it back. Ooh, that's a great tile. It should be 9 pin every time. Because this gives Itsu and Ipeco routes.
Very
You're
white.
really sad if you draw Dora, but I think the 9 is definitely the right play there.
Oh, how about
Oh,
this?
well. Ew.
1-4 is open. It's Richinomi.
With the lead, I'd probably just slam it. At the same time, I don't
Home.
hate just throwing the 7 back.
Even just takes the Dama here. Maybe hoping for like a 6-pin.
Yeah, or even an 8-pin. Even for E10, I'd slam this 3-sided.
Sure.
Well, we have Tempai, and I think that's
1
going to deal into no Yaku, which is the problem with Dama. When you have no Yaku, is this will happen. You're giving your competition time to build value. Waiting on all 3 7-pin, which we know where they are. Good luck with that.
Now the 9's back. It's Fruity 10 though.
It's also safe, so
That's
I think you
true.
just throw it. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and take this. Figures if the 8-pin gets drawn, sure, we'll take
1
it. And we have another Ichi on the left for Richi, Pinfu, possibly Peiko. The 2s are dead, so it has to be Peiko.
This is a wild
Or
one. Wait.
E10 as well.
Oh no. So 2 players Fruity 10 Tenpai, 1 player reaching a completely dead Penchon. A dealer just trying to do the best that they can with the challenge they've been given. They don't know it, but they can just jam anything that will be safe here except for the 5-pin. No, that will even be safe too because of the Fruity 10.
Well, I think with this score, you should just be jamming. You don't even really care. They should be 2-so anyway. Nope, folding out. I don't really like that with this score. And the 2-so does not feel good, but I just think that hand was played pretty weakly from the start. Couldn't really decide how to play it, and there now you feel really sad when that 2-so does pass. Oh, we might see a Ricci right here. That was the
1
tile you were looking for. There it goes. 5, 6, 8 weight on the right for Ricci, Pinfu, maybe
Oh,
Dora. Oh, Ipatsumo! Ricci, Ipatsumo, Pinfu. No Aura, but Yun just on a complete roll.
Damad all the way up until the 6-pin draw. And another Ipatsimo.
Just sumo.
Simple as.
Simple game. So Yoon here has a decent hand. Richidor 1 most likely. If the penchant you'd like to fill, the 446 is workable. On the right, though, ooh, me likey.
Yeah, look at all those.
Hatu, Pair, Haku, Anko, great shapes. Can accept 2 Dora here. That's value. Cross the way, maybe a distant 1, 2, 3 Sanjiku. I think you just play for Pinfu normally. There's a Dora, though, on the left. Also has a South to call, but given how down TJ is, may get a little greedy on this. But let's keep staring at the hand on the right. Drool.
Yeah, one pin was the draw, not the Dora. But we can still accept 1 more. And I'm curious to see if we draw something in the upper pin range that doesn't give Tempai, or even the middle pin range without Tempai.
Well, I think
How
we
could
just
we end
cut
up
the
getting?
9-mon first. You
Right,
don't
and
have
then
to immediately commit to it.
so what if we draw 8-pin, 9-pin? Is that the move? Go
Well,
3
then you
4.
have Itsu, of course.
It is a little less efficient. Oh,
Well, now you just
1
slam. That's one of the saddest draws. You just look at this, and you feel someone's gonna throw the 7, and it's gonna be Richi Haku, and that's it. Well, there's the 8-pin you requested.
a little late. Still, this weight's relatively live. 5 in the wall. And oh,
Oh, and that just hurts.
TJ on the left, each on 10. Can call for
Could call this for
Tempai.
Tempai. Tanya Dora 1 doesn't take it.
Oh, now we can go
Looking for
full
a lot
greed.
more value.
I imagine 5 mon here. Okay, 6 as well.
I know I'm in the 6 here. If you decide you're pushing, 6 is definitely the most efficient tile.
Yeah, I first was cutting them both. Oh, wow.
Well, there's our chase. 6-mon Chun. There's only 1 Chun left.
相撲
Oh, just sumo. Now, interestingly, you do get the extra foo, so it's not as bad as it looks here.
Oh!
Oh, Aura 3!
Who killed
Oh!
without Boo?
Just flip your Aura 3, and now we have a dogfight for first place.
Oh,
Because that's
goodness.
going to be Yoon taking the Oyakabra there, paying out 6,000, and Tucker is looking to steal this game from underneath, and has 2 door and a great Tanya shape.
A lot of modern child's internals to work through, but it's just the second discard.
Drew, on the other hand, has a great Honitsu hand. Maybe Honitsu or Chinitsu, Tanyao, multiple Dora. That hand could be Baimon if you get the right draws. Across the way, another great hand, already Ishunten, but it looks pretty cheap for now. I already see that first Haku. Is it called? And if you do call, what do you do afterwards? Will pass. And on the left, potential Itsu has a Dora. Great value everywhere.
Now the race is on, and Tucker might be a little bit too far here, despite the door pair.
Yeah, Tucker's hand looks so promising. You see a completed shape, good floaters, Dora pair, and then even with all those floaters, you're not worried about it, but he's getting nothing.
Meantime, Drew paired up a 6-pin, which might put some hesitancy in that Honitsu plan.
And Drew could have called the 9, basically selling out of the Chinitsu, and says, no, not yet.
And with the Dora, Chinitsu +1 is on him on that. Would at least get you over 30k. When Haku and both East are out now, so TJ's tiles are running a little thin here. He might have to end up cutting East-East and create something else.
Just from that pond, I'm wondering if he's going to brute force a Sanshoku.
Ooh. That is a possibility here. Now it's sufficient to cut the 8. We'll see. It goes with the 8 Mon.
Well, there's your 8, and you can't really call it. And yeah, there goes the East, selling out on kind of everything. I'm trying to figure out what the plan is.
I'm thinking it's just any Ricci.
Says, I just saw an Aura 3 flip, I can do it too. Just give me the Tempai.
Yeah, of course. Haku might end up being the pair in this hand. Oh, there's the last one. Here we go again.
And that's so sad. I would call this because it's important to keep someone under 30k. I don't think you're ever making a big hand out of this, but you can, on the other hand, at least salvage something and only take the minus 45 or so. There's our pawn, Ishantan on the right for Tanya Dora.
It also means Drew looks like he's trying to just salvage this game. Take as many points as he can going into.
We have Tempai on the left for Ipeco. I think you can even Dama if you want. And we'll do so, waiting on Dora and Aitmon and Nobetan for Ipeco, Dora, or Dora 2. 5 money's dead, though. Oh, do
This
you
is funny.
reach the 8 here? This is a fun shape.
So 3 so's dead, and 2 so's 1 out, so not thrilling.
Not great.
And then when you see the 2-3-4 chi, you're like, yeah, that's probably the right choice.
Yeah, it was definitely the right choice.
That means Tucker now Ishantan now could call into Tempai.
Well, that 5's going to come out, and that's going to be easy chi for Tempai. Looking basically for that 2-pin. Where are they? They're both of the wall. That's going to be a surprise for someone.
The 5-8 Mon is completely held or discarded. You're actually drawing dead here.
The real question, where are those 2-pin?
Somewhere in the next 10 draws.
Well, we're looking for them. They're still not visible. Could chi this, but that 8 eventually deals in.
Chi.
Oh, will.
And there it is. The Dama will win. Ipeco Doro won, and things just get worse and worse for TJ. But that's going to lock up the win here for you. And a monster win. Just kept sumoing big hands with 43.1. That's going to launch all the way into second place in the division. Tucker with a monster or a 3 there late makes a fight out of it and still steals 24.3 points. And Drew just tries to stay out of danger. It takes a minus 11.1, but that could have been a lot worse. And speaking of a lot worse, TJ with that minus 56.3 is going to take him all the way from looking for a potential bonus promotion spot to barely above plus minus 0. Rough game.
Yeah, had some really bad beats as well. I'm thinking about that 6-pin random Tonki that after he had such a beautiful Ricci hand. But still more games to fight for. I believe they have one more in the series. And there's also a B2 table going on right, or that just started.
You want to switch over to that B2 table?
Sure, let's do that. I think one of these players is a little bit hard to catch on stream, so it might be a good opportunity to do so.
It was a pretty early game because I think this is their third one today, and it's only 8:11 Eastern. So if you're on the Pacific, good luck catching these games.
Yeah, I know it's quite a stacked table with Edward Z and Brian W, Carl T and Kevin D. Dutchman actually playing in Arizona right now. Out
Huh,
of
so that you think the time zones are bad. You have Arizona, which doesn't observe daylight savings time, so they're actually 4 hours off, I believe, from the East Coast. That is, but yeah, this definitely looks like a stacked table. Edward has been rolling through tournaments. Brian, who's a 7 or 8 Don, don't know where he is right now, but has bounced between them. Kevin has been in Armel for a while, pretty stable around the B1 area. And Carl similarly has been in the league for a while, sitting around, just sitting there lurking. So should be a good matchup here.
It will be starting any second now. And since this is their third game of the series, I'm kind of curious to see how the first two went. I know Edward absolutely crushed the first game with something like a plus 59, just monstered sumos all over the place. Almost won a Kokushi as well.
Well, I can tell you from those results, it appears they've already played 3 games. They must have started super early.
Oh, yeah.
Boom.
Edward winning the second game as well. But it was Kevin coming back in game 3 with a plus 27.1. Here we are in game 4.
All right, Edwards, the first dealer here, has door acceptance, pinfu shapes, nothing fancy here. On the right, feels like a similar type hand, pinfu shapes, but give that 7-mon fill there for the penchant. And definitely needs another one of those, the 3-so across the way. Non-Onko has a Dora in there, maybe a Chanta, depending on what happens. But you have that 5, 7, 9 pin, where 9 pin is Dora. I'm just going to play efficiently for now. And on the left, we have a North Pole and a floating Dora. The question is, does that Dora come out?
And I can be called Otosuke by the dealer. And you might do so just to lock in a Dora. Oh, now definitely with the East pair.
Yeah, now you're just going. You don't even have to think too hard about a hand like that. You have 2 Yakuhai and a pair. Oh, just pair up the door. Easy game.
Don't have to think about dropping it when you just draw it.
They just pick a penchant. It doesn't matter which one, just one of them. The Shunten for dealer here, looking to pull one of those Yakuhai probably. Or ideally, of course, draw it yourself, but you'll take anything here.
Yeah, East is in the wall. Oh,
Oh, just draw it.
Eat.
This is an easy slam. Ricci, double East, potential Dora. We see 3 Dora in hands and 2 6-pin in hands, so 3 outs left on the wall.
I think Kevin has figured out that Edward is a pretty strong player because he immediately drops that south. South, south, south is the play. Doesn't want to
Well,
mess
I
around with this Ricci.
feel it should have been the 5 pin. You can still do a little maneuvering with this hand, and the 5 is safe,
Yeah,
but just wants to stay out of trouble.
and that's probably a pretty good strategy when you're up at third place in the division against, like we said, a stacked table like this.
Well, good discipline not cheating that 2 and deal again, which I might have in this situation, given you have Chanta Sanshogu. 1-3 is safe, but
Boom.
there goes the 6 anyway. We'll deal in Ricci double East. No aura, but still 7,700.
And another good start for Edward. His dealerships have been absolutely killer today.
Well, I said Edward's been running hot in tournaments. Just get big hands in sumo a lot of the time. I mean, you can't stop it. But has a few pairs here. Probably just call the Hatsu and go. Nothing
Boom.
fancy on the right. Haku pair. Rest of the shapes are okay. There's not too much value. Maybe a 5, 6, 7 Sanjiku across the way. A Pinfu type
Boom.
hand. Nothing fancy there. Out on the left. Similarly, kind of a Pinfu hand, but the shapes are a lot worse. And we have Tempai on the right for Hakunomi just on the 8-so.
Well, there's some ways for that to improve, but for the time being, just a relatively cheap hand. 3 so in the wall. Dealer's going to fight back.
Tempai on 3-mon for Hatsunomi.
It's a couple Nomi hands duking it out.
Chi.
Speaking of Nomi, of course, Richi Nomi Open is coming up in just a couple weeks. A lot of people looking forward to that one.
Yeah, a lot of Armel players going to be there with 208 signed up and registered. It's not surprising to see a large percentage of our players at that tournament.
Oh, there's the upgrade on the right. Now a 5-8-so weight.
Yeah, the last upgrade will be a 5-pin draw.
Would get a Sanshugu that way.
Or an 8-mon, either of the two.
Or rather, a potential Sanshoku.
Right. Kevin across the table has drawn into Ishanten. Imagine he would slam a Ricci if he found the Tempai.
We do see the slide, but it's away from Sanshoku. And
Yeah.
a Dama across the
Don't.
way, and there it is. Hinfunomi. Boo!
Just ending the dealership. I think Brian was a little concerned about the 1-4 pin 1-4 Monsuji, and so slid away from the Sanchoku.
I am definitely known as not a fan of
Boom.
Hinfunomi Dama.
But
But
this
regardless,
was,
we have Brian here as dealer with a Dora 6-7. Now you have the 6-mon pairs. You go 79 Sanshogu. Lots of potential value here on the right. Pinfu 7-so would help immensely across the way. Yeah. I don't even know what you do with that. You just play efficiency and hope something happens. And the Monzu's great, and everything else is just a disaster. And on the left, we just have double Yaku High Call Tempai on 4-7 pin, and there it goes. Quick 2,000, and let's move on.
yeah, barely got time to look at all the hands before it was over.
I've been told I speak quickly when I do these, and even with how fast I spoke, we still barely got through them.
Yeah, these players playing fast and getting good hands. Quick hands.
All right, well, Kevin, his dealer here, has the double East and 3 Dora.
Ooh.
Could even go Toy, double East, Dora 3.
Boom.
But we'll take Ishanten now. I think it has to be the 8. There it goes on the right. Hatsu pair can call that as well. Pretty good hand. And you think it's probably the fastest of the table, even that he's calling it's not. Across the way, Haku pair can just call that and go. Has a few other pairs as well. And on the left, Tuso Onko. Bunch of pairs. I think it's what they call a Toitsuba hand, which is everyone gets lots of pairs.
Some people make that into Chitoi, some people make it into Toy. Some people don't make it into Tempai at all.
I tend to be in that last category.
Here's a decision point.
Well,
I think we're
now
seeing
you're
8,
just
9.
a decision. It is.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, okay, that is a decision. I always cut 8-9 pin there. I don't even think about this hand.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting to me because I know Kevin loves a Toy hand, and I think typically would cut the 8-9 there. I wonder what the reasoning is here. Maybe just the
The
better.
only reason I can think of is you do kind of wall off a lot of the 7-pin needs because you have all those 5s.
Yeah,
But
might
at the
be
same
right to
time,
that.
you don't even have to have a 5 to be able to use a 7 because you're going to want to be waiting on a 5 a lot of the time.
Well, now it's really tough for anyone to use a 7. Carl can't use it. Across the table, Edward already has it, and Brian just got rid of the 8-pin.
Oh, that 5's so sad. And yeah, just moving this backwards. I feel the 3-mon was just a mistake. Without the rest of this hand got played, it feels like that was either a misclick or in some way an oops. Which isn't a good feeling when you have a hand like this. This is one of those where you just look at it and you start drooling, and then your focus disappears for a second, and you go, "Oh, oops."
Yeah, I think maybe if you've made the play to cut the 3-mon though, you should probably stick with the penchant.
And oh no, that 7's being held. Brian does not like it, although now you'd see the penchant cut. But at the same time, a lot of the situations where you're going to cut a penchant there is because you're cutting it from a 5, 6, 8, 9. So that
Right.
7's not a tile you want to be cutting unless you have to. But we have the upgrade here now, very wide Ishunten. But big problem is some of those are Furi-ten. Like this one, unless you take the 6 Tonki.
All right,
And
here
we'll
we
take
go.
the 6 Tonki, recognizes that this is not what you want.
Oh, this is an upgrade.
Okay, that's workable. I would definitely switch this. Oh no, we're seeing there on the right, Carl might get in some big trouble with that loose stew.
Yeah.
Cheetoy across the way.
Ishanten. All these Sozu being collected, but they're safe tiles for Carl.
地
There's the Haku, and can't really call that if you're going Cheetoy.
本
Now's your last chance. Doesn't make the play.
Says, okay, fine, I'll do it.
Jams out the 7-pin.
Uh-oh. And yeah, reads that, you know what, I really don't want to throw the 2-5 Suji. Great dodge there by Carl. I think you have to call this. Like, I don't see why you wouldn't call this.
I think the 5-8 Suji
Feels a
looks
little
suspicious.
danger because of the late 6.
Yeah.
And yeah, just won't throw it. That is understandable.
Hilariously, the 6-0 comes into hand.
So that was the wait. You just needed the donkey there.
Looks like we're going to
But it's
Yutoku.
going to be dealer is the only one Tempai, and 3,000 is honestly disappointing for that hand.
Oh, well.
Well,
Try number
okay, so
2.
we were talking about Edward getting absurd high pie, and then we just see these back to back.
I mean, it's going to be a competition between Kevin and Brian on the left. They both have Yakuhai plus the otter pair backup.
Now, this is the double East. Is now Anko in hand. The Haku is paired up. Could even go Honitsu. I don't even like the 1-mon cut. I'd have cut the 9-pin.
本
Considering the con, well, Pone. Wait, what?
Oh my
I
goodness.
don't know what I'm seeing now.
We're anticipating a Rinshan, perhaps. In the meantime, Edward's hand Hypai is kind of busted with 2 Dora and Chitoi Shunten.
Chitoi Shunten, Chitoi Tanyao Dora too. And on the left, it's like that's a bad hand. The chewed Anko, Ryanman, great floaters, South pair. Poor Carl has nothing, and everyone else just has these monsters.
Yeah, Dutch definitely playing this for a Toy Toy.
I think the East is being held as a safe tile or a potential Rinshan later.
本
But at the same time, we have a Pone across the way, and there goes that Haku.
And these discards have been so odd from Kevin that the rest of the table has to be on high alert with East call, Haku call.
Tempai across the way. We'll just take it for Tanya Dora 2 or potentially 3. The 7-mon is Suji to both him and the dealer.
3 tiles
Each.
live. Oop,
Oh,
Tempai.
there's the 7. It fits perfectly into the hand. That's going to be a
Boom.
slam for Rishi Chun. And there goes that safe East.
In the end, just a safe tile. 2 tiles in the wall for Edward. 2-5 pin.
Tempai, I think you have to call this. Which one do you want to wait on? 9-pin Tunky.
Three
And all
live.
3 of those are in the wall.
Oh goodness, this is a tight one.
Oh, that's a bad tile, but I think you just slam it anyway. There it goes. And, oh, a huge upgrade there on the right. Now, great. Khan!
No.
Didn't do it earlier and won't do it now. At the
Oh,
same time, everyone's... You see Carl's probably terrified of that Hatsu. Oh, there's the
Boom.
9!
wow, Toy Toy finishes it out.
Is just a Mangan, but just a Mangan for dealer is not cheap.
No, not at all. 3 expensive hands that round.
And Brian is getting kind of dinged here, down to 6,000. And of course, the beneficiaries are in very good position here. But Kevin is dealer here with a Pinfu type hand, maybe an Ipeco. Also has a Dora in hand. Not the ideal shape with the 679, but you'll take it. On the right, we have the 9-so Onko that feels like a reasonably quick hand, but not an expensive one. Across the way, Hatsu Onko and a few other decent shapes. It feels like just a call and go, nothing fancy here. And on the left, you have
Chi.
the Haku pair, and other than that, maybe Chanta. You could definitely accept a Dora, but I definitely want to hedge towards Chanta, Dora, Haku out of it.
Yeah, really looking for the Dora. Oh, that gets paired up by Kevin, though.
And Kevin immediately cuts the 1 pin, so doesn't really need this. I think the 4-mon is a much more normal cut there, though.
Boom.
Yeah, perhaps. Ooh,
Oh,
another.
well, unless you're going Cheat Toy, now you feel bad about the 1-pin cut.
It just throws it back. You can continue to cut away from the pin block, but I think he's trying to play multiple blocks here and hope for the 2-pin.
Perfect Ishun-10 on the right. Oh, and there's one of those Dora. You can see does not like it. A long pause. And says, nope, we're going to cut from another shape. Also gives some routes towards an Itsu. Not ideal, of course, though.
So Ishon 10 for 3 players. Brian on the left, the only one not quite there yet. And so we have, what, 1 9-mon left on the wall?
Well, now everyone's Ishun-10.
Slight improvement in the tile acceptance there with a 6-mon draw. And Brian could find Chanta out of this. This also improves the acceptance. We cut 6-mon.
Thanks, 6. Yeah, you haven't really increased much acceptance. Throws it back anyway.
4-mon or 6-mon.
Tempai across
Boom.
the way on a random 9-pin donkey, and
Go.
there it goes. And there it deals in. And you go, what the heck?
Yeah.
Oh, there's an Onko. Well, and the suffering for Brian continues here.
Yeah, we
We're
saw.
in East 4, and kind of a messy hand here for Carl. Maybe Tanya, some weird 678 Sanjiku later, but on the right, we have an East pair. That may just be a call and go. Their shapes are okay, but nothing fancy, nothing expensive. Across the way, Pinfu, maybe some sort of Chanta later, but I think you just play efficiency and see what happens. And on the left, by far the best hand. There isn't much to say about that. That is likely Tempai in a draw or two. Question is it going to be one of the 3-sided weights? Probably. When you're Ishun-10, it's which 3-sided weight do we get? That indicates your hand is generally pretty good.
Yeah, no Dora, not usable for Tanya. You're hoping you could draw something like the 4-pin for Pinfu and Tanya. That's a slight.
Ugh. That's like the worst draw you can get that improves your shape.
Yeah, maybe even you're not so sad about drawing the 5-pin here either. Speaking
Well,
of,
this is your fault.
and no, we're happy about this. We got the 4-so, and if we draw the 4-pin, we have Sanchoku, and if we don't, just playing for
Not
the.
a believer. I think you could have cut the 4-so.
Yeah, I think this still has better raw tile efficiency, but by like one tile.
Yeah, I like the Forso cut in that situation.
In the meantime, East still walled, so Edward hasn't had the chance to call anything on the right. Atsu also
Well,
hasn't
it's
come
because
out.
Carl's just squeezing it.
That's true. As dealer double tone mix
Well,
some
now you
sense.
see the 5, 6, 7 in the pond, and that is how hands like that tend to go.
홈,
There's the East, there it goes. There's the super wide Ishan 10. Very callable hand there. I mean, you can't call the 4. You have to make something out of this. Great fill there for dealer. And across the way, starting to get a little scary too.
Hmm. Towards a
Well,
Chanchan.
there's Tempai for dealer. You just slam this Ricci Binfu. I
이치,
guess Ricci Dora 1. It's not Binfu. So what do? Do you take the Shampon or the 4 Kanchan? We'll take the 5, 6 Shampon. And there's some people that would look for an upgrade, but I take a look at that. I don't really see much of an upgrade. The event is this: you do see one
이치,
Forso out, but there's going to be the chase on the left, and I imagine this is going to be the 4. Yeah, there it goes. Three-sided Ricci,
This might encourage Edward to back away.
and does throws the 4. So how is the 5, 6? It is just the 2 on the left, so 2 outs there. The 3, 6, 9, as you can imagine, is better, but not by a whole lot.
I think 4 in the wall for this weight. 2 versus 4 is a lot closer than you'd think, comparing a middle Shabo to a Sanmanchan.
That's Tempai
이치,
across the way, and that's going to be a slam as well, waiting on
스모,
Zevenmon. Oh, just Sumo. Ricci, Sumo, Dora 1, Aniora. Nope, doesn't really need it though. Gets 2 extra Ricci 6, and at 35,700 in East 4. That's a Dora, potential 1, 2, 3 Sunshu. Doesn't believe in it though, cuts the 1 pin immediately. But just a pretty fast hand altogether. You mentioned you likely got the full. Well,
Hmm.
okay. I think you just got the 4
Forso.
pin. No, I don't ever want to cut the 4 so. Like, I want the Dora. Come on. If we
Double.
drop 5, I'm so sad.
Yeah, it's.
Ew. Speaking of sad, what do you do with that?
Let's throw it back. Oh, it just was it. Okay.
Uh, I'm just disgusted by this. On the right, 5, 6, 7 Sanjku looks pretty good. Also the Dora, but maybe not abusing it because you have the 2 so potentially is the head across the way. Anko of 2 pin. Pair everywhere. Kanchan. I mean, it's probably just Tanyao. It's one of those hands that looks better at the start, and the more you stare at it, you go, ew, it's not that good, is it? And on the left, Dora pair up. Couple other pairs and Onko. Maybe could go Toy Toy with that. That's the type of hand I want to brute force Toy Toy with, because I just don't see too many other routes for it. Other than that, you just play efficiency and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm seeing this the early phase of the game, just cutting the honors and waiting to see what gets drawn before making the ultimate decision.
See, I disagree with that. I'd have cut the 8 Mon and the 8 So before the honors, because
Mm.
if the honors pair up, I'm just in business. And that North would have paired up, would be in great shape.
Yeah, that is a good point. It's kind of easy to autopilot sometimes. Oh, another one Montron, but that's not really the tile that Carl was looking
4
for.
pin, 4 pin. I hated that 4 pin from the start. Nope.
At this point, it feels like we're relegated to Tuso Kanchan.
I mean, the Tuso does look pretty safe against us with that pod.
Gotta get Tempai first.
But that pawn for dealer is just so, so sad. Demon gives you kind of a penchant. I guess the 8 so is the right cut. There it goes. Dealer is just staring at the pawn in absolute despair. Ipeko upgrade there on the right. Still doesn't really know what to do with the Dora, though.
Yeah, it's kind of wait and see mode. If we draw the 3-so, we get to use it. Anything else, then we're probably cutting it. Unfortunately, the 3-so, it's kind of running thin. Oh, it just cuts it now.
No, we have the Shunten across the way, improves the shape, but I'm not really thrilled with it. It's actually a headless shape with a Kanchan connected to an Anko, and that Dora accepting Ryanman.
Yeah, although the 2223 side of it is Huditan, if we do draw the Dora. Although we're not drawing Dora, so if we draw the 4-so.
Yeah, that's probably why the Forso wasn't
Each.
take. Well, that's just a slam. That is Ricci and either Dora or Tanyao. Doesn't matter which side you win it on, it's the same either way.
Chi.
We see a Chi there on the right. That is Tempai for Tanya Nomi, waiting on 5-8 so. Of
Could see that
course,
come
that's
out.
also really bad.
Uh-oh.
Oh, there's the 4, and
Go.
there's the deal in. Ricci, Tanya, lots of Aura chances, but that's going to be a miss. Does get 2,900, back to 4,000, and we are in South round now.
All right, this has been a pretty well game. We'll see what the South has to give us.
All right, Edward with a Pinfu type pen. Nothing fancy here. 1, 2, 3, 4 in one suit. 5, 6, 7, 8 in another. On the right, great Pinfu Tanyao hand. Maybe a Sanshoku if you can get the
Pump.
4, 5, 6 or a 6, 7, 8. Across the way, Chun Pon. And that's clearly just a call and go type play. On the left, we have, speaking of
Pump.
call and go, there's the Haku. Might brute force Honitsu out of this. I probably would.
Pump.
Especially if that eats. Now you just, yeah, I think you have to cut 6-8. There it goes. Definitely going for value
Chi.
there for Carl. And we're going to see a Chi here by Dealer. Says, you know what? I think I'm
Chi.
behind. I'm just going to call and see what happens. Across the way, that is an Ishanten. As we definitely have sped up the action a tad.
Yeah, Dutch says, my close competition is dealer. I guess I'm going to try to end this hand as quickly as possible. And Carl says, well, I've got a ton of value here. I'm going to call as fast as possible. Edward. Everyone's calling so fast, I just have to match the speed. Second door is a little
Oh,
unfortunate.
that Dora. There goes the Dora. I can't really use it, though. That's the problem. Do you ever just chi it with a 3-4 and keep the floating 2 and the 6-8, giving you an excuse to cut the 4-so? I don't really think so, because you have the Haku already. You have your Yaku. But it is at least a consideration you can make.
Yeah, if it wasn't once cut, even before the second one came out, you might hope to pair it up later, but
Chi.
as is, there's only 1-2 mon left, so I think passing is
Well, I
probably the
see the
best.
same type of play here made by Edward, just in the offsuit. And there's Tempai waiting on 7-mon on the left for Haku Honitsu Dora.
Oh, caught.
Khan? Khan wouldn't actually help here,
Yeah, if you
but it's
flip one,
Khan.
you
Khan.
can. Okay.
Will Khan gives dealer an extra Dora,
Two
2 Dora
Dora.
even.
The 4-pin's a little hard to find.
Chi.
That's going to be Tempai across the way. Which way takes the 5-8 so?
Didn't believe in pink
And there's the
Toffee.
8 so, and there it
Jump.
goes.
Was going to win no matter what. The way the tiles were
And you see
treated
that
well.
Khan, you're like, oh, thank you. Thank you, it's only 1,000. When that deal's in, you think it's really bad. Dealer here is going to be Brian, who's kind of been stuck in this game. Did win that one hand a couple rounds ago, but starts off here with a pretty good hand. Potential Ricci Pinfu would love to accept something including Dora. You have the 1-mon Dora indicator, but right now just a floating 1-mon isn't much. On the right, Pinfu there as well. Does have a Dora. Potential routes for Hitsu across the way. Pinfu, well, actually not really Pinfu. You have the Anko of 8-mon, maybe Toy Toy? Like, I don't even know how you play that. There are Honitsu routes, there are Toy Toy routes, there are Yakuhai routes. There's just hold the Dora and wait, maybe even go Tanyao. There are so many ways that hand can play. I don't even really know what you're going to do with it yet. On the left, Chun
Pump.
pair has a Dora. Don't really have to think. There's the call.
That means that Brian has no use for this tune anymore. Did pair up the 1-mon, and so it has a really odd Shabo potential that is once cut or once visible with a 1-mon and 9-mon, not very live.
Well, 6-0 is going to fit nicely into the hand. Does still have this problem that you don't know what your head's going to be there on the left, and you have that floating Dora. So you want that to be the head, but it's also the hardest one to get.
Oh, Tempai on the
Eat.
right. We'll slam a Ricci. Ricci Penfudora.
Easy slam. Now you see 3 of that 5-8 out already, which is a little disappointing, but Ricci Pin Fudora 1 is an easy slam.
3 in
Dealer
the
also
wall.
has 2 of them, so just 3 in the wall. And that's Tempai on the left on Dora
Eat.
Tonki. And
Temp
there's our slam for dealer on 1-mon, 9-mon.
only
It
one
is Dora
tile.
indicator. There's just 1 in the wall at this point.
Yeah, 1 versus 3. Kevin on the right with the advantage here. And you can't really drop Dora now.
Yeah, you're just kind of stuck here. Unless you just try and fold out. And feels that, okay, gonna try and Mawashi this a bit. Throwing the Suji 7. Oh, there goes the Dora and says, thank you.
How did that... Oh, came out from the
Came out
dealer.
from dealer. Should have just pushed.
Man, that 6-0 draw, really unlucky timing there, right before the winning tile would have come out. 4-0
And
is
the
good,
9
but
does
2.
not look safe to the dealer. The question is there anything better? I think the 3-pin is better. We'll throw the 4. Oh, there's the
Go.
8. And the pattern of Brian deal again continues here. Doesn't end up dealing into the Dora Tonki, which was probably how the hand was supposed to end. But we'll end up dealing into Reach Pin Fudora and the Ricci sticks. We'll go into negatives. And we're in South 3 as Kevin extends the lead here.
With this high pie, he might just be hoping to pass the dealership. But
Yeah, this hand kind of stinks. Maybe a 5-6-7 Sanjku eventually, but ugh. 5-8 so 3-4 3-5-7 Mon. I mean the pin's great, but on the right we have the Onko of the South, so a double South there, and a Dora. That hand's great. 3 Han very easily, very callable. Speaking of callable, look at that hand across the way. The Onko of the Haku, decent shapes, maybe even 79 Sanshuku, especially with that 7-so draw. And on the left, pairs, and an Onko. So the question is, what do you do with it 4-6-8 so?
oh yeah, you have to at
Because
least
it
be...
wants to go toy, but
Mhm.
that's a great Dora accepting shape.
You just
Donako?
draw 6-0-6-0.
I'm on board with that plan.
Yeah, really, you're dreaming of Suongo here to get yourself back in the game, but more realistic route maybe might be the Sun Uncle plus Dora. Ricci Sun Uncle
Very wide
Dora.
Ishunten there on the right for Carl. Has the Ryoncon 2-4-6 and the Ryon 4-5. And now Tempai could even Dama this, but I'm never a fan of Dama.
Chi.
And this is a Sanso Dama, so I'm very conflicted here.
Now this is lack of faith in Sanzo not declaring the Ricci.
Tempai for dealer, waiting on 1-4-mon. 1 is not a Yaku. And I guarantee you, if that had been
Eat.
a Ricci on the right, that would have been a Ricci for dealer. I meant this is immediate Sumagiri chase.
Oh, doesn't.
No, Dama. Okay.
Might be planning to fold then. Oh, that's a disgusting
That's the
tile.
kind of tile you'd be folding on. I imagine this be 3-mon. Because if you're not gonna throw the 3, like you should have Ricci'd. And I'd argue you should be reaching anyway. Because the 4-mon is the tile you'd be looking for, and you have to figure it's pretty dead.
Well, 2-mon clears now, so if you redraw 8-so, you can find yourself Tempai again, even 5-so.
Well, there's our requested 6-0 on the left, but it's a little late for it. Could throw a 2-pin and keep a Chitoi Shunten. Could also just yeet the 4. Or just fold out. Oh, there's your 3-so. So would have dealt in had there been a Ricci.
It would seem that way. So in terms of folding tiles, 2-pin, 5-pin, safe. 4-pin as well. All these pin tiles look really good.
There's the Dora. It passes. Not going to be taken. And I wonder if you read the weight. I might just shove the 5. Yeah, there it
7
goes. K10 on the left now. I feel if there weren't a pause on the 5, I'd
4
definitely not throw. Oh, there it goes. The 3 deals in. And the suffering for Brian continues. Ricci double south. Dora Mangan. Carl jumps into second place and has a good chance at first as we're at all last now.
Gap of under 8,000 points.
Well, when you're a dealer, you don't have to worry quite as much about the 8,000. It's 12,000 that matters to you. But this is not the hand you're looking for to start with for dealer. You now have at least door acceptance, but your pairs are a mess. Conscience everywhere. It's just not great. On the right, we have a Haku pair and a few other pairs. But this may just be a call and go. Secure your third, be done with it. And, oh, pass is the first one. Definitely looking to play for second then. Across the way, we have a potential maybe 5, 6, 7, 6, 7, 8 Sanjiku. That's about the only route for value I'm seeing. On the left, we have a bit of a mess. You have 2 Dora, but like, how are you going to convert that? That's the type of hand where I stare at and go, it's just Tanyao.
And we're kind of working our way there. Tsumukiri 3 straight terminals and honors, and now we're starting to make some, get rid of some from hand, but it's going to be a long time before that becomes playable Tanya.
Well, you also have routes towards Chitoy now on the left, but I'm definitely feeling Tanyao with this.
With Edward passing the pawn of the Haku, it feels like these hands are going to be a little bit more slow building.
Brute Force Chitoy on the right is Chitoy Shunten. The 3-mon cut is definitely an I'm going Chitoy play.
Mm.
Passes the 8-mon. That mildly surprises me.
And maybe also hedging Chitoy?
This hand is just like Korak nightmare fuel. Everyone goes Chitoy. Voluntarily, I might add.
Well, we have Chitoy Tempai.
On the right, and it's Sanzo, unless you wait on the 2-mon.
Hey, Sansa won the last hand. Dama
And
turn.
will Dom... Again, this just gets worse and worse. It's Chitoy voluntarily with Dama on Sanzo.
Yeah, I'm looking for a better weight for sure. Or at least something that signals that the dealer might be able to discard into this. Kind of tough call
Well,
here
it
for...
does look like a Chitoy pawn, so you're not really thrilled. The interesting thing is all the Dora are accounted for at this point. So it's not like you can draw another one. Okay, Kevin does eventually call here.
1
That will signal the move.
There's Asuma Guriichi was just waiting for anyone to get involved in this hand.
That's a big draw for Kevin, though. Oh, he shoved
Oh,
in.
there's the Suji. So now it's this 3 Suji trap, but I'm not trusting Suji with that pawn.
Yeah, 6 is Genbutsu, but I don't think Brian wants to cut it here because he wants to play for... Oh, it does.
That's going to be, well, I mean, the 6 is going to come out. Just wants to play for this. And we have Tempai and Genbutsu 7-pin and Nakasuji 4. And there goes the 4.
That'd be Sanchoku.
Sanjiku, Tanyao, Dora 2. Not going to be enough to knock Carl into third place, but that's an ouch.
Wow.
Kevin with a monster win here, 44.5. Carl there with an unfortunate deal out on the end there, still salvages a pretty solid plus 10.7. And we see the Ricci didn't pay off, but did secure the positive third place there for Edward with plus 3.7. And it just nothing worked out for Brian. Just absolutely nothing. And you see that in the standings that Brian was sitting there looking for a promotion is now going for the Saki Award, as is Carl.
That's true. Although it looks like Brian still has a full set of games to play. So rather than, so unlike Carl or Edward, who have played all the way through their session 5, Brian will have 4 more chances to climb again, as well as the Session 6 games. So still not out of it just yet. As far as Kevin's concerned, though, he'll be absolutely thrilled to be sitting second place in B2, and comfortably so, with 6 games remaining, 2 from a previous session, and then the Session 6 games. All right, let me check out the rest of the divisions, see what's going on. Looks like a
Well, there
B1.
was an A1 table, and we wanted to get them in, but it looks like they not only waited half an hour from their start time to play, but then finished both games pretty quickly.
Yeah, we'll have to catch them. Looks like they're playing tomorrow as well. So perhaps we'll have a reason to run a cast then.
But
But
the first game was Peter getting first place in that one, Jonathan F. Second with 6.7, Will with a minus 15.8, Joe in fourth with minus 28.1, and the second game was Jonathan F. trying to dig his way out of the hole he's been building up with a plus 46.8, Will with a plus 8.3, Joe minus 18.9, and Peter minus 36.1. And overall, that makes for A1. That cut line. The race for the top is it's not over, but Lucas is nearly 100 points clear of the field. It's that demotion line where things are interesting. You have this big herd of people right around minus 40. And then Joe is currently cut line with a minus 69.4.
yeah, maybe actually, I'm kind of curious to take a look at that because it's relevant to me. So I have as the broadcaster, I have the power to make the changes and take a quick peek at the A1 standings. Yeah, I think.
And speaking of that game we had earlier, the Tucker managed to get a win there in that previous series, plus 20.6, Drew with a plus 9, Yoon with a minus 9.3, and TJ with a minus 20.4. So Tucker just on a roll.
Yeah, we can look at those standings as well. Continues the dominance at plus 285.0 with 1 more game yet to play in the series. And I think they are almost done with that game right now.
Yeah, they did just finish. So I guess the question is, do you want to jump into those, or we want to hang around and see what happens in the B1 game?
Yeah, looks like
'Cause
we
they've
were
been at the B1 for a while. I'll take a look at where they are.
yeah, we were expecting a C1 game also tonight, but looks like they did not end up starting. So that might end up being it for us.
Okay, the B1 game is in, once it loads, South 2. So we can either head over there or call it here. I say we jump over there.
Yeah, might as well catch the end of that one.
This is Blake, Greg, Honley, and Daniel.
I was I think yeah, it was Daniel recently who won a Kokshi. We didn't catch that one on stream, but we saw the replay. I'm very curious to see how things are going in this game.
All right, well, dear, here as a Yakuhai pair can just call and go, and that's probably how you play this hand. On the right, we see a bunch of pairs, but that East Mochi Mochi may come out, but at the same time, there's a good argument to just go for Son Onko there. Across the way, you have the 9-mon Onko and a Dora, so the question is, do you brute force the Chinitsu? And here's probably no, just play efficiency. And on the left, we have the Hatsu pair that may just also be a call and go, or the Ishan 10. You can just pull it and you're just waiting on the 2-5.
Yeah, it looks
Eat.
like Blake taking charge of this one. Daniel
But
not
the
doing too
first
bad.
Tempai is on the right. Uh-oh. That dealer is in big trouble here.
Hmm.
You can get away with the two pin, maybe.
Starts with
Still won't
that.
deal on a Nipatsu, but I think you're just destined to deal it here.
Yeah, East
Will
East
be reaching Nami, and you're just hoping there's a aura.
typically very safe in the south round when you are the dealer. Not so in this hand.
Yeah, at the same time, you're kind of wondering, why aren't they in there? They must be in the wall. There's no chance anyone has it because they just throw it.
And also
It's
this
useless to everyone else.
this Ricci came from a 1-mon, 3-mon Tadashi, so you're expecting the
You
weights
figure it's a good weight. It is a good weight, just not in the way you're expecting.
right. Blake doing a bit of Mawashi here, but still Ishan 10. I wonder if we'll see a chase if Tenpai is found.
I wonder on that 1 mon, 3 mon, I'm looking at the hand and going, maybe this should just be Tenpai and 2 5 mon.
Yeah, hard to say what the shape was. Could have been like a 1-3-3-4, where the 2-mon was drawn after cutting the 1.
Well, we have a Suanko Ishan 10 if it gets pushed.
Oh,
I'd throw I'd probably jam this.
yeah, Daniel's playing for it.
That's going to be the play here.
Are these tiles? Oh wait, now you have your choice.
Oh! Oh, that's disgusting.
Can I go 8 so 8
8
so?
so 8 so yeah, we were both getting there.
So
Problem is the 5 mon is owned by the dealer here, so it's not coming out,
Gee.
and the 4 so are in hands.
so it's not happening here.
So
Could
it is not happening.
the Dora is live, so could at least get Toy Toy.
Well, yeah, but if you get it, you're never winning.
Right, unless like the 4 so becomes Nakasuji. Which is Nakasuji now and might come out from Blake even. 2-mon's Genbutsu.
There've been good dodges by dealer, not getting hit by this yet.
Yeah, we were kind of expecting a dealing, but Greg's been doing a great job of dodging.
And does, just solid play.
Gone for the draw. Oh, draws the
Oh,
Dora.
well, there's your Tempai. Do you dare take it? Nope.
Honestly, I think just ran out of time and auto discarded the 8.
Yeah, because isn't 8 Dora? 8 is Dora. That was definitely a timer issue.
But definitely a difficult decision. One of those where you'd prefer to have
A
10-second
long
bank.
clock. That's when we're in live play. Guys, give me a second.
The math really changes when it's the last discard.
Yeah, it's so much worse. But at the same time, if it passes, you're guaranteed the Tempai payments. There's no random sumo at the end.
It's like
Regardless, though, we have Hanley here with a South pair. Can just call this and go. With 2600 in the middle, that is definitely the preference. On the right, kind of a pin fan, but as an extra pair. Maybe get a tiny out of this across the way. Uh-oh, we have the other South pair. But that hand also has a West pair, so it can call that and be for the Sha Nomi. And on the left, pretty good hand there for a Tanyao, but
oh
oh,
my.
well, the best hand's the one across. That is an easy slam. I don't even like the Dama.
Seems an unusual Dama for Blake here. Maybe just
Blake
playing.
needs points too.
Hmm.
I mean, I know this is you're in first place, you're extending a big lead, there's a bunch in the middle, but I just want more.
Yeah, it's possible that Blake is willing to pass a run even and just hope for the door and after the first one
No,
comes out,
you never
slam.
pass a run with 26 in the middle. I would just say that it's a bad play.
No.
Well, there's your win. Gets the direct hit from it, but it's still only the 1900. We'll extend the lead significantly, though. And we're in all last.
Yeah, once again, South 3 math a little bit different, but
Well, the big thing here is you have 3 players in the emotion zone in this division, and that may be misleading because there was a dropout in B1 mid-season. So there may be one less demotion than it appears.
I believe that is the case when that happens.
But dealer here is going to be Daniel with a few pairs. Can just call the east and go. On the right, probably a Tanya. Just got the north-north. Although maybe hedging towards a Chitoy even. You dream of Doko, but then you realize, wait, I don't have any 8-mon. I'm looking for the 8-mon. Oh, there it is. Easy game. Cross the way. Few pairs. I mean, you want to go Chinitsu, but you have 2 Doras. You don't need to. On the left, Chun pair. That's just call and go, salvage your third, get this game over with. So the best hand's definitely the one on the left.
Daniel with all these pairs might call up those
Pump.
K. Yeah, it does take it. And if you draw a pair in the Monzu before you make your next call, you could even start to work towards Toy Toy.
Pump.
No, there's Tempai for dealer. Can only win on the east. Would just be east only.
And in the South round, it feels like you can hold this Atosuke. Otherwise, you might consider swapping to Toy Toy if you draw a 4, 5, or 6 mon.
I am very surprised Foreman was cut there on the left. That was Tempai. I actually like the Dama. I don't think the 8-pin's a great floater anyway.
It's true, you
He's
can.
definitely greeting for Sanshoku. That is
Mm,
clearly the play here. That 2 lights up, but it is not the tile.
Each.
And this should also just be a slam. Waiting on 8-pin and Chun. The ideal, of course, definitely want the Chun instead, preferably with the Sumo and Ura. Because a Mangan Sumo would take second place and be positive.
guess it's a good thing
Oh,
Daniel got off of
well,
this.
that is a tile. But there are Toy routes now, as not really the planned backup, but hey, it's there. Chitoi Tempai across the way. And you have to take it with this kind of value.
Yeah, probably considering how bad the 2 pin is, doesn't want to reach you the 5 pin.
Oh, there was the 5, was just drawn on the right. Figures the Dama here, any win is going to be good enough to get the third place anyway, but I think you just slam. That's Furry 10 though, so you can't take that weight.
Yeah, none left anyway.
I've done that far too many times.
Shompachun, and this might get Daniel out completely.
Yeah, and you're in a position to just fold. There's nothing wrong with folding here.
9 pin's still fighting a little bit.
Kind of a push, yeah.
Oh, do we
Well,
see a
9
switch
was
Each.
now?
just cleared. And there it goes. The 5 is dead though.
Pump.
Could see a pawn and a tempai, and then June is held. It is
Oh
the safe
my.
side. Will be a double roan if it is drawn across the way. The 5 is dead. The 8 is dead. The only tile is the June.
Damn.
And there is one in the wall somewhere.
Sumo.
Oh!
There it is! Ricci Sumo Chun. No Ura, but even with that Ricci stick, not quite
Mm.
enough to get to 30k.
What an attempt by Hanle, though. Found the last tune in the wall and falls just a little bit short. But also, what a read by Daniel to not cut the Shompai Hatsu. The 3 pin
Yeah,
was
gets
nowhere
the
safe.
tempi there. But Blake going to be the winner here. 26.6 gets some points desperately needed. Looking at those standings. In second place, Daniel, 6.2. Getting a positive is better than not getting a positive. And Hanley, not quite enough. And you see the season Hanley's had. It's just not coming together. And the indication, no Aura flip there, is how that season's been. And then in fourth place is Greg with a minus 27.5, who's going to sink down further into the demotion zone.
Yeah, that's one of the smaller divisions. We get to see everybody on the screen. And it's been kind of wild at the top, collecting a lot of points at the bottom. Very close at that relegation line.
Though there is a C1 table that did start.
Oh, they
Is
did
that the one
start.
you're looking for?
Yeah, an hour later. So they must have shifted that time along. Looks like they'll be
Okay,
going live in
well,
two
they'll
minutes.
be, yeah, 2 minutes. So we're going to grab some water and be back in 2 minutes.
All right, see you soon.
All right, welcome back. We're going to have a C1 game coming up. Derek, Tara, James, and Scott. I am joined by Harrison.
Woo! I love Mahjong! Woo! The secret was I had to lock in to not throw promoting at a B1 again, which is why I haven't been commentating. I had to focus my efforts on not playing like dog, and now that I feel good about that until I throw it next week, it's time to get some commentary out of the way.
Well, I
And
mean, you
with
know why
that,
you're having a good B1 season, right? Because you dealt
oh,
into my Suanko Tonki.
oh Jesus, I don't even want to get into that. Oh God. Anyway, though, we got a bit of an okay hand from Scott, looking to shape up to a
Eat.
Pinfu. Ooh, but who's that? That's James on the right. Sir Great Bit in game. Just on the Ipeco weight. Currently reaching that Kanchan 1-3 pin. Going to be Ricci Ipeco. Not a whole lot of value, but could potentially trap somebody. You see a 5 pin come out. It's natural that someone might try and check Suji. Especially
And
with
there are
that 3
three of
pin as
them
the
in the wall,
reminder
so it's
there.
not as bad a weight as it looks, especially with that
Yeah.
early 3. Of course, it's after Ricci, but at the same time, a lot of people
What
are,
else are you gonna go
the
off of,
3's
right?
okay. I'm sure the 1 and 2 are good.
Yeah, it might depend how many one mons we see out too. I know that's one of the things that I've been trying to pick up more is checking for value on the board and kind of seeing what's the most expensive deal in this goes to. So
Pump.
especially if like 1 or 2 one mons come out, 1 or 2 more,
Well,
people might
Dealer
just say
did
like
decide
screw
to
it.
yeet Dora into this Ricci.
It's unlikely. Again, it's early. It's hard to be on a terminal. Like you blow up if it deals in, but odds are it doesn't. Ooh, and this is actually really, really bad for who's that across? Derek. Oh, never mind. I was gonna
Yeah,
say
just Tempai
Mochi
on
Mochi.
3-6, and actually waiting in the
That might
Gimbutsu
be, but
3 here.
only problem is three's held, and
Sumo.
Terra has
Just
to give up on a
Sumo.
hand.
Who
Oh, just
cares
going for the
about the
six.
3? I'll just
Nah,
get the 6.
quick hand, clean up, get the stick on board. Said
And
thanks
Derek
for
will
the tip. Let's get
gladly
this
take
game
that one.
moving.
And it's going to be James here as dealer with a nice little Dora Kanchan. Kanchan's everywhere, but it's not as bad as it
Oof.
looks. Could be 1, 2, 3 Sanshoku. I'm looking for the Sanshoku Junchan Dora. I'm looking for
Ah,
honestly
that's.
any excuse to cut 4-5 mon.
I
And
was
it's
gonna say
so
that's an
inefficient, but it's so
aggressive
tempting.
push. Yeah, I almost kind of like just playing the Itsu chance and the Manzu, like cutting like 3 1 pin. I know Sanshoku's nice and it's a good force open, but like this hand just sucks.
It
I don't know
does
about
stink.
you,
I
but
think I
I'm
would have started
terrible
with
at
the
hitting the
3-so.
conchons.
Plus it's
Kang.
3-so, so that's a good reason to do it. We see an immediate con
Oh,
here, and that does
I
kind
guess
of
it
ruin the
overlaps with
shape
the
a
three
bit.
mon.
On the right, we have kind of a Pinfu hand. You're going to get rid of those honors.
Yeah.
Maybe a 6, 7, 8 Sanchiko eventually. Across the way, kind of a Pinfu hand. Nothing much there. Does have
Ooh,
one
Anka
shot Dora.
Anka.
Would love to pair that up now that we have that con revealing shot as the second Dora. And on the left, kind of a Pinfu, but a really ugly one.
Yeah,
Similarly needs
seeing
the
row
8 pin. 8
2.
pin is definitely the in-demand tile this hand.
Yeah, we see two. One's held in Derek's hand and one in the wall. Or, excuse me, one in the dead wall. So, only two to go around. It's going to be in very high demand. Funnily enough, the only person with an 8 pin is the one who doesn't have Dora. This is going to be a big decider, too, for James. James putting off the decision of whether to drop that Dora or not. Definitely more efficient, too, but the value goes away.
Oh, and that 7's kind of forced the hand. Maybe you cut one so here.
You got to cut a pair no matter what. I don't think you're cutting a
Well, you
Ryandan.
can brute force the 6 or even the Dora. But I think I
Yeah.
prefer cutting one of the pairs here.
Yeah, I think if anything, cutting the 9 pin's almost like a Sakagiri here, because you'll need to cut a pair no matter what with the 3 round ends. But
That's saying I don't need the Dora. A
uh,
con is a Han. And now you're just sad, though.
yeah, but now you have toy routes. Might be worth it on the
Are we
table.
really? I'd still just throw this back. I hate everything about this hand. And there it goes.
Yeah, but I mean, I think the thing that's nice about toy is you have the 1-so. You may get a 3-so pull from that 1-so pawn, which you're expecting. You have like this Nakasuji 6, although it's probably not that real. The problem is you got to fill 3 straight Ryandans, and it's already part of the way through second row. And there's no way to speed up the hand, at least with like an aggressive pawn route. that gives you some sort of option, but now you're just at the will of the wall. And you have 1/1, which you're hoping is pretty safe with double 3 protector, but again, like time is running out, and we see the 8 so Tempai not reached on for Terra. Doesn't like the wait, looking to hit some sort of upgrade here, it looks like. Maybe even shift to 3,
I'd
4, 5
probably
Sanchoku
just
for
slam the
value.
Ricci there. I don't really see how you get
Well,
improvement to this
you gotta
hand. It's a
throw 9.
complete mess. And at the same time, I disagree with dealer cutting the Hatsu there. You should just
Yeah,
start cutting one of those pairs and just use your safe tiles. You need safe tiles with a hand like
yeah.
this. Oh, well, okay. It's
Ah,
decided the 1 so 3 so is the key to this hand.
but now stuck with the sticky 7, which you do not want to keep. Not quite as bad because Derek can't
It doesn't
super
look
use
that bad
it,
on the
but
right. You see the 5 pin, 2 of them in the pond, so you don't think the
mhm.
7 really deals in.
A little bit of a misplay from Terra too. Doesn't commit on the 3 pin and break the 7/9 Conchan, but then draws a second 3 pin. Would be Tempai on 3 pin 1 so here, which I think
Well,
is a
we have
decent
Tempai
enough
on the
play.
right and Tempai on the left now. That's going to be
Ooh,
Ricci, Dora 1, waiting on 1 4 pin. Of course, we see so many of those 4s locked up across the way. So just 3 outs.
Sumo.
But if
oh,
there's one of them, that's all you need. Ricci, Amatsu, Sumo, Dora. Or is it needed?
oh!
You just get the Mangan either way, and that's going to be first place for now.
Yep, we're gracious. We don't hit dirty Uradora. We're playing JPMLA. We're gracious enough at Epots.
Well,
We'll
when you
take our
have
Epots
Mangan,
Yaku and we'll call
those
it
are
a
the
day.
saddest Ura. Those are the ones that people that complain about
Oof.
Ura always end up hitting. You're like, I never get it when I need it, but going from
Boom.
4 Han to
Derek, you're
5
too
is so
hard.
useless, and that's the one you'll always hit.
5 Monka here? Question mark. Oh, I
I'd
don't like
probably cut the
that.
Haku here, but throws the 2. Definitely likes the shapes as they are. I'm a little greedier here.
Yeah, I like throwing in aggressively almost for a Honitsu out. Like you throw 5
And
Mon,
now you'd
and
definitely
now, yeah.
be now you'd be having some fun. On the right, maybe an Itsu in So. The rest of the shapes are just ugly. It's hard to maneuver with that hand. But
Hmm.
say a 7 so or an 8 so, and then it just Itsu and you really have to think about it. Across the way, few pairs, not too much
Chitoy,
else. It feels like you're just going
probably.
cheat toy with it. I
Yeah,
hate
you
the
missed the
hand, but
2 pin
that's the type
pawn.
of hand where you just brute force it. It's like I
Uh,
don't really see another route. On the left, we see the East Pawn and a
East
Dora in
R1 from the
there. You'd
looks
love to
of
pair
it.
up the
Boom.
Dora, of course, but
Yeah,
you'll take anything. Tempai for dealer here, waiting on 3 Mon for Hatsunomi. A bunch of Fu, but that's going to be it.
not gonna do much. May con the 9 if it comes out.
I
Although
definitely
it seems
con the
pretty
9. This is the
locked
type
in
of
Terra's.
time you really want to con the 9. Oh, that's a huge draw on the left
Good
there.
draw. Plays a 6. I almost kind of like keeping the 6 and maybe playing 2 so. That way, if you pair up Dora, it's a little bit easier to use. Maybe even cutting
Yeah, I'm
one
fine
3
with a 2
Mon.
so. You could go
That's
1 3 Mon
aggressive.
as well, but I think
Uh,
2 so is fine.
ooh, Tarek keeps drawing Sozu. I mean,
Chitoi,
more
Sean
reason to
across the
try to push
way.
it away.
Oh, well,
Dream on, that
goodbye.
might do it. Does Terra sense the danger? Hand too
Don't.
far? Nope. But
Well,
it's
at
cheap.
least the 9 mile wasn't thrown first, because that did not fit in
Mhm.
the hand either. And I think that would have gotten conned.
Yeah, I think you almost have to. You're chasing value. You're like set on your weight. You don't really have any upgrades, especially with a North already out.
Well, Derek,
You
his
pawn
dealer
and throw 2
here,
Mon. It's
has kind of a
obvious.
mediocre hand. Kind of a
Hmm.
Pinfu, too, so it would really help. Can accept a Dora on the right. Pinfu, a much better Pinfu. Also, the
Yeah.
floating Dora 3 pin across the way. Pinfu, Tanya, maybe a Sanshoku and a Dora. I really like that hand. A 6-Mon would really help that hand. And on the
Yeah.
left, kind of a Pinfu, Tanyao, maybe a Dora there as well. So a couple really good hands and a decent one for deal. I hate the 5 pin cut, though.
Yeah, I think you need to keep the 5 pin. I just don't see getting aggressive with this hand with the Hatsu and the Chun. You do have good Sozu shape, but I,
Well, the
especially
problem
with
with
the
the
Chun
5
already
pin is you
out,
just
just
draw a
kill the
4 or
Chun.
even a 3 and you're just sad.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
arguments
that's why
even
you
just
set
cutting.
up for the what's it called, Honitsu, and then you just pair weight the
Well, yeah,
Dora.
when you're
Easy
cutting
peasy.
the 5, I feel that just selling out on Honitsu, and I think if you're going to do that, you should never be cutting the Chun. This seems like someone who has read up on 5 blocks, but hasn't really gotten around to leveraging floaters and how they'll work, because your blocks aren't gonna be these terminals and immediate
Yeah,
punish. Is it I feel if you
little
cut the 5,
wishy-washy
you can
from
do
the
that, but you
thing of
need to
it.
just sell out on Honitsu.
Yeah. I think it's definitely just a matter of going, you know what, I'll go an aggressive Honitsu route and then deciding, you know what, I've looked at it for a second. Maybe I shouldn't be tending towards that. I should throw Tune first and then
And then the wall
of
tells you,
course.
"Yes, you should have."
Yeah, your decision was the wrong one as it always is. You also have an E Shanten, pretty good on the right for Terra, a lot of Ukaire. Although hand's not super expensive.
Yeah, you have the
Could
double
take the
hole
Ricci
in there. It's
here.
a really ugly shape.
I might even pass it, go for like a little bit of a greedy just dominant and try and get Dora pair. Try and
I
get two
like
pin.
9 pin.
9 pin. One 9 pin's interesting. You build in like maybe an Itsu chance.
Right.
Up your
Well,
pin fu.
even just that
Something
lets you
weird.
fix your shapes a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And if you draw the 8th, then you've improved your shape a lot, and you've gotten the Tanyao.
Boom.
Yeah, I'm noticing that Terra really doesn't like to take these Kanchan, like not so great tempais, especially at least part of the way through Road 2. That seems to be the common theme. We also have Dealer opening up on that
リーチ
2mon. Must be a Tanya route.
Well, it's just a
And after the
K10
first,
for now, but probably a Tanya. And again, if you
yeah,
wanted the Tanya, you know, it'd be really
リーチ
nice to have a 5
5
pin.
pin. Ooh, fighting Richi's though.
And this is just
What is that?
Shampoo. It doesn't matter which
Yep.
one comes out, so it's going to be the 3mon, 8mon, and Across has almost all of them. Oh,
カン
Khan! Khan! Oh! And of
Khan comes
course, now
out.
you're on the right and you're
Mordora.
going, where are my 4s? Oh, that's where they are. And now you're
Yep.
just sad.
Now you're going, oop, I'm in danger. I got no wins and no protection.
And there's the
Although
Dora.
3mon,
That might give
8mon, only
home.
one
Nope,
left
it
in the
passes.
wall. Yeah, I think Scott across just doesn't find the legs for it. Oh, that could be devastating. I mean, I think
You throw
Formon
the
is
safe
better to
4,
play here.
yeah.
You say yeah, one so I'd like, but
Just gonna break the tempi for now. Figure there's a lot of ways back. And you have
mhm.
several draws still. That is one of them,
That's
but
one
this
of
is
them. Furry
tempi.
10. No, unless you throw Formon. Not Furry 10
Yeah,
on the
you figure you'd
Formon.
throw the 4. It is safe to
Do
the
we spot
right.
it?
ドン
Nope, we'll throw
Ah,
the
it
3.
tries
We'll
the one
deal in.
chance. Deals in the Shabo.
Ricci Tanyao. No, or a bunch of Fu, though, will be 3,500. And we move to East 4.
Yeah, I
There is
think that's one of those hard situations where, especially if you're not as experienced, trying to find out like why is there no 3mon on the board, but I have one chance on these fours. Does that mean a Shabo's more likely? Does that mean they have the last four? I think when you're starting out, it seems a lot better to throw that 3mon than it really is.
We are in East 4 here. Dealer is Terra, who has kind of a Pinfu Ipeco type hand. You have the potential Itsu in Pin as well, but this floating 2 and 7 Mon are kind of a mess, especially when 5 Mon is Dora on the right. Similarly, kind of a Pinfu, maybe an Itsu hand there as well. 8 would really help, 5 Mon would really help across the way.
Hmm
4, 5, 6 Sanshiko, maybe? Again, everything's kind
Yeah,
of a bad Pinfu for all 3 of them. And on the left,
everything's
the only
just
one that's
slow.
not Pinfu. That's actually a really fun hand. It could be Honitsu, you can brute force Chanta, you can go Toy Toy, you can go Chitoy.
Nope, Shanta.
I really
Shanta it
don't
is.
like the Forso. I think once you get that Anko or the Shaw, I'm tempted to just cut one pin and sell out on
Ah,
Honitsu.
but what about the Honroto route? Maybe that's the idea. You play Chanta, in an
That is
aggressive
one I do
Honroto
not have in
at
my
part.
Yaku decks.
You don't have Honroto. See, that's why you've never hit the Honroto. The dopamine that comes with that is life changing. That's why
Yeah,
this
but
is a
no
I
one gets
love
to complain
Honroto
about my
play.
dopamine having hit a Sunkansu in A1. Nothing
That
will
is pretty
ever
crazy.
top that.
Yeah, that's hard to beat. I think I've only hit that once in my entire time playing.
Well, there's
Ooh,
another pair up.
Hold on. I mean, this is gonna be the big one. Probably
Yeah,
Goes
I
in
say I don't think this
north.
has to be the big one just yet. I'd have cut the Hatsu though.
Yeah, I was thinking Hatsu, throw the ones out. North's less useful too. You at least jam some hands. I don't like
Beats.
committing just yet, but
Tempai on the right, 2 5-pin. Dealer has a bunch of them though.
yeah, weight's not looking good.
Just
Fives are
one
all dead.
2-pin left. That's all. Just one.
Yeah, it's pretty cemented in dealer's hand. Actually, dealer might have to throw a 5-pin in order to get Tempai or 2-pin.
Well,
If
dealer
dealer
also
gets
has
legs, might
tons of safe
challenge.
tiles in Sozu.
Yeah, it's if dealer wants to fight, which granted, there is definitely not the incentive to do that yet, and it's only getting later and later.
Well, the advantage is you look at that pawn, it has to be a Monzu weight. Like, it has to with that pawn, right?
This is the type of pond where I think that exact thing, and then it's Pinzu like it is now.
Chi.
Right, and it's much more expensive than what you're seeing here. Because I seen
Exactly.
you deal into some of these.
It's always I finally got the instinct after just getting destroyed
Don't.
by stuff like this all the time, where I'm just like, you know what, something's off.
Well, there's the reach. He
But
will
just
be
reach,
just
you
the
know
cheap
me,
end.
not too bad.
No, or so you just move on to South Round. Dealer here is going to be Scott. Has the East Yakuhai pair. And pretty callable, no value. This is just call and go.
Yeah.
There's nothing fancy here on the right. Pinfu, maybe some sort of a Peiko. Has a floating Chundora, and that's going to be a theme here. Across the way, a floating Chundora. On the left, a floating Chundora. And other than that, both hands are kind of mediocre Pinfu shapes.
Yep, nothing going on. I mean, it really is going to be a tale of does somebody kill the Dora off quick,
Well,
which
we
it
saw
looks
someone
like
try
James
it.
want to. Yeah. Other two
Interesting
aren't
cutting the
biting.
4-pin. I think that was very inefficient. Should have spent the Haku first turn, though. I
Haku,
don't hate just
even the
cutting the
one
Dora, because
pin.
the rest of this hand is bad enough, but
Yeah.
still fast enough that you don't necessarily need the Dora. At the same
Hmm.
time, I'd really like to have a 4-pin still in this hand. Then you just go Tanya and not worry about it.
Chi.
Yeah, but with 9-mon pair, it does kind of affect it. Ooh, and we got a
Where's our
pair up.
Dora?
Tara's got it. Now it's going to be a game of does Derek drop? And I'm going to be honest, Derek Hand's not the best. Doesn't have the legs to fight. The question is,
Well,
oh,
you
does
say
Derek get
that, and there it
upgrades?
goes.
Now all of a sudden we got something scary on the board.
And everyone's
Problem
like,
is 1-4 dying
thanks.
out. Ooh, Pinfu getting up. That
Ooh,
is
that's
an
an interesting
upgrade.
draw.
Probably.
I'd
I
cut
think you're
the
supposed to.
8.
Yeah, I think you're supposed to throw 8.
The 3
Only
is fine as
slightly better
well.
because there's 1-mon out. So you want the
Right.
2 on that more likely. Oh my goodness, that's
The
Ishan
Shanten
10
across
breaking
the
the
way.
Kanchan, reach Pinfu, possibly Tanyao. Not a terrible fighter, scary to push against that guaranteed Mangan, but fortune
Well, yeah,
favors
you
the
saw the
bold.
overflow with a 7-5 and then a 3. So you think it's Tempai a decent amount of the time.
Yeah.
But it feels like it's an upper Monzu. So I wouldn't be surprised if the 7-Mon dealt in here.
Scott also Ishan 10. None of the weights are good. Decides to even back up a turn. Think just wants to keep the south for safety. Oh no, it was Shompai, so a little scared of it.
Well, it came out on the
Passes
right
with no effort
immediately.
though.
This could have been
Oh, it misses
Tempai
the
for
Tempai. Just
dealer.
throws the south. Plenty of
I mean, you
draws
just
back
throw
into
the south for
Tempai.
sure now.
If you get in the furry 10 too, then
Gets
it's
rid of
on
the 7
Minchan.
now.
Not a big fan of that because none of your weights around this 5-pin are good.
Yeah, I don't like that. I think it's real. It deals in just a lot.
And
Well,
yeah, the
that I
7-mon
believe
did do a good
is
bit.
a super white Ishunten on the right.
777s need 2-5.
It's headless.
No. 5-6-7 3-4. So you get what is that? Just 2-5-8?
Doesn't matter. We're Tempai on 1-4 on the left, and that 4-so may come out on the right if the wrong tile is drawn.
That's true. Might be scared though. Might
Eesh.
just
There's
try and drop
Tempai. This is
63
just
or
going to be a
something.
slam. Rishi, Pinfu, possible Tanya. Oh, that 9 is the Ipatsu!
Don't.
Richi, Ipatsu,
Checks it.
Pinfu. No Ura,
No
still
Ura though,
cheaper
so
than
not
the
the
Mangan
worst.
Sumo would have been, so I guess that's how you have to look at it. But we're in South
Yeah.
2 now. James's dealer here has door acceptance and honestly okay shapes. 3-mon would really help this hand though. On the right, couple non-value wind
Ooh,
pairs.
Toy. Hold on. Toy of our lives. Maybe even Honitsu route.
I mean, you just kind of hedge both
Option
on it too for
select.
now. That's definitely what that 6-pin suggests, but
Yeah.
passes the pay. I might have just called it and said, you know what, we're making our choice here.
One or the
Across the
other, yeah.
way, kind of a Pinfu. Again, a bad Pinfu hand. Can accept a Doro, which would be nice, but the rest of the shapes just aren't great. On the left, similarly a bad Pinfu type hand. That does
Yeah.
tend to be how most of them are. When I have a
Yeah.
Dora, and there goes the Dora, and I would chi that in a second. I don't even really want to draw the 5. I want the
2, 3,
Dora.
4, it's
Gimme,
on
gimme,
you.
gimme.
Yeah. Splits your shape, although with 2 6-pins out, that makes it a little bit
Possible 2
harder to fill
divorce
that
Sonshu for
5-7.
dealer now.
Ah, there it is. Backfire City.
And this the 7 is just completely useless. And now you chi that. Like, why didn't you take the 2?
Oh, another draw. We're going for
Oh, well,
Ippei
that's
Tanya,
why.
maybe the Pinfu.
Okay, so it's just absolutely the most
G-Toy
brilliant
Dora
play we've ever
2.
seen. Just
Wow.
knew it was going to come out again.
Yeah, this is called 3D C1 chess. This is why me and you would never promote out of C1, because this is the kind of stuff you need to do. Defying all Ricci logic.
I don't know. If you've seen some of my really stupid plays, I do some really crazy stuff.
Some really zany things. We also have Nagashi Armel going strong from James.
Unfortunately,
The
not
hero's
on the
hand.
rule set.
That should be in the Yaku decks, honestly.
I
Who's
think we've
got it?
had one. It
Steve?
might have been 2. I
Steve, I
know
think,
Steve
has
got
gotten
it.
2.
I know Steve had it at least once. Oh, here's an interesting choice. Do you take the Sanshoku? You have to cheat this. Do you take the 3-so Sanshoku or do you take the good way?
Boom.
I think. Oh, well, dealer
Oh, but the
says forget
pawn
that.
happened. James deciding said, I'm going aggressive. And now,
Now you're just sad.
Sarah, trouble.
Well, and also you need value out of this hand. It's South 2 and you're in 4th place. You don't really want the 2000.
It's
You'll take
still
it.
pretty
But
close. You got your dealership.
dealership in
Time.
South 4 and last is not fun.
Yeah, but everybody else is pretty close too. Which I guess makes it a bit more rough because that cheap fast hand that kind of
Yeah,
screws you
everyone
over
wants
is
the
more
cheap
likely.
hand. Well, that is Tempai. Dealer
Ooh, and
takes
a
the Shumpo.
Shabo option. Interesting. I mean, there are 3 6s out, so it is an
Thinks the 8
interesting
is really
play.
good and is right. Might come out this turn even, but I think the 8's going to be thrown first.
Yeah. Yeah, Scott is playing around with Tempai. Getting it or even getting a step closer might cause that 8 to go. Although with 3 6s and 2 9s out, might
Oh, and
not like
that
the
draw
8.
may save him.
Yeah, it's gonna cut at least 1 so we'll have to see what
Ah,
comes
and that would
next.
have been the
Oh,
sumo.
the 3-6-0. Yeah, it's a bold play, but I think you just need to play the Rionman here, especially with none on the board. Like it's
It's
too
good
likely
enough.
that there's something in the wall. No need to get cute with the 8 pin, especially with 3 6s out. I would think something's weird that there's no 8 pin that I haven't seen, even if I have 2 of
Anti-Sanso
them.
cult play.
Actually, you know what? I'm on James's side now. That's a good point. That's a great point.
Well, we still just waiting for,
Yeah,
I guess at this point, just the 5-pin, but I can't really see it coming out. Tempai on the right.
dancing
I imagine
around.
it's just a slam. Whoa, is just terrified of the
Whoa.
5-pin. And it doesn't look great to dealer, but I'd
Yeah, it
still
looks
throw
pretty
it.
bad.
I'd just reach it.
I feel like it looks weird to the right.
Well, now that's a
Just weird
door. That
enough.
may shut this hand down. I think you just go 2-so.
Yeah. Yep,
Because
2
you can
so.
cut the 4-pin and go Doritanki if you get
Yeah,
a
the
3-so or a
4-mon, yeah.
6-so.
I think that's what you have to do. 2
And
pin
yeah,
does look
that
very
8 would have
threatening
been
versus
thrown to you, and if
dealer.
you'd reach this could have been a win.
Actually, it's only Tanya Dora 1 against dealer, so it's not that expensive.
Well, now we're going to see if Dora does get shoved. The answer is nope.
Tanya Dora 1, that's 2,900. I think that's fine versus dealer. You really want the win too, so just taking the quick points is
Oh, well,
nice.
there's
Even just playing the
Senpai
K-ton.
again. Would
Are
have
you
been the
brave?
sumo.
Yeah, it just
but doesn't
backs
want anything
out.
to do with it.
It's
Again, just
consistent.
not throwing the Dora late against everyone is reading the 2-5 Suji is absolutely terrible.
I
And
mean,
I
here's the
really
thing,
don't.
like, what is expensive that it deals into? Even with Scott's hand, it's at most. Well, I guess no. I don't think there's enough Pinzu.
No, there aren't enough twos. It feels only deals into
Yeah.
Tanya Dora 1.
Yeah, at
Because you see
most,
2
Scott
of the
might have like
twos
Tanya,
already.
Pinfu, Dora one, but
The
that's
only thing
still
it deals
just
into that's
300.
expensive is like a Nobetan. Oh, well, gets Tempai
Well,
anyway on the last draw. The last 2-pin does manage to salvage it and gets the 1500, and that's actually really important. And maybe even more importantly, means that you don't get 3000 per dealer, who is now still in 3rd place as a result of this.
yeah, even stalls out the realm, which might be good. If Terra can get a good hand here, it can really kind of reset the game going into South 3.
Well,
Especially on
dealer
Raw
here
and on
is
like Scott or
James
something.
has a Chun pair, could even go Chi-Toy with this, a bunch of pairs. On the right, though, 2 Dora, otherwise I'm just seeing Chinitsu.
Shinitsu, I might even. Oh,
I'm not playing
this
Chinitsu, I
has
have
to be
2 Dora.
Tanyao.
2 Dora is
Yeah.
all I need to know.
Screw Honitsu, screw Shinitsu. We're
It's
running
just
with a
Tanyao or
easy
even
call out.
Ricci.
Ooh, that
I
8
hate that
pin. I guess that.
draw.
Yeah.
I think I'd cut 2
You could drop
pin,
2
but
pin.
yeah,
Because you have
everything's
the
ugly
Ipeiko on the
there.
7 pin, which is
Pump.
really nice. You get Dama Mangan on what is that, 7 mon?
Chun Pon for dealer. Across the way,
Eat.
kind of a bad pin to it. Oh, there's our Ricci. It
Gonna
is
reach you on the
just
7
the
mon.
7 Mon, Ricci Dora 2. And on the left, not a great hand, and we'll be glad to fold this out. Has all
Yep,
sorts
said,
of sweet
hey,
stuff
I
with
was
an 8
looking
pair.
for a reason to stop playing.
Especially in first place. Like, even if they
Yeah.
sumo, I'm still in a good place in second.
Yeah, this hand, that hand on the left just has no legs, too. There's no place
Dealer
where
has to
even if this
call
Pump.
gets the
this.
Senpai, it's worth pushing. Yep.
Like,
Dealer's gotta
and
go.
dealer's
Toy
just
Toy's your
Senpai. This
expensive
is good
route.
weight with
Pump.
upgrades to Toy Toy.
Yep. It'll be interesting to see if the dealing happens on the 1-mon caller, especially the draw. Although this late against a Ricci, you might just push the 1-mon and take
Sumo.
the
Doesn't
two,
matter,
or just
just
draw it
sumo.
yourself. Who cares? Take the Homba, take the tip on board.
Thanks for the Ricci stick. I'll take first place as a result of that.
Oh, and a
And
great hand to start. Sancho Kuchance, Tanya, basically locked and loaded.
2 for
Niche
Sancho,
on
definitely
10,
one of the
good too.
routes. The rest of the hand isn't ideal, but it's just a Todd
It's
now. The
double
question is, can you
rounded,
get
it's
the
fine.
Dora and the Sancho out of it? On the right, double south pair, so that's just definitely a call a
Ooh,
go.
2 more
Across the
pairs to
way,
boot.
really bad pinfu. That's a really bad one. And on the
Yeah,
left, a few pairs. That's also a really bad one. A 3-so Dora would at
clumsy,
least give
clumsy
you to
hand.
something more resembling regular hand, but it's just a mess. Dealer's definitely the best hand, and the one on the right is the second best.
I will say, very interestingly, all 4-sos are out, but no 3-sos are.
Pump.
Well, there
All
is the
Dora
south.
still
There,
left in the wall. Hell's coming out, could probably cut 1-3 Kanchan, yeah.
1-3 is the normal cut there, because you figure you want to pull in the 8 anyway, so the 2-2-3 is
Mm-hmm.
useful there.
Yeah,
It
you have
feels like
some
the
weird
Chi
Toy
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 on the left now.
upgrades. This can put you to Ishan 10 for dealer.
I agree with the
Doesn't
5-pin
take it.
cut.
Excuse me. Yeah, you still keep Sanchoku, you still keep your high value outs. Breaks the Ishan, but does it break? Yeah. Or am I bugging? No, it was always Nishan 10. I'm bugging.
Ew.
Ooh.
Ew.
Toy Toy! Cut that 3 mon! Get crazy with it. Who needs
Ew.
Dora when you have Tanya Toy Toy? Ow!
Oh,
Not
I'm
that.
very surprised that was
Not
passed. I think
that.
that was a mistake. That should have been cheat.
The 4 mon?
Derek should have taken the 4, cut the
Yeah.
2. You have the double south. You have the door
Hmm.
acceptance. There's no reason not to, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, especially after, like, I guess Toy Toy is still on the table, but, like, with triple rounded,
Chi.
you're not gonna go
Well,
Toy Toy.
and passes
It
the
doesn't
2.
palm
Dealer takes it.
there.
But oh, we'll just draw the last 2 on the wall, sure.
Just going for some foo. Nothing special.
Well, the other problem here is you're going to see a 2-3-4 in the
Pump.
pond pretty soon. But dealer's
Eh, it's
Tempai
fine.
now. Waiting on 5-8 mon for Tanya only.
Yeah. Not enough food to go places, but you know, homba's homba.
Just sumo.
Especially when we draw it like that. Adding more tips on the board, slow and steady wins the turtle race. We're up to basically 3 Han over 3 dealer repeats. Like 1 3 Han total hand one, so
Well, it's
it's
also
getting
really important
meaningful.
for all these players. This is a really important series for everyone here because
Yeah.
these are the ones where you can get extra points. There are almost always a bunch of extra promotions in C1, but you have to be positive. And the higher you climb up, the more convinced you are you'll just get that auto spot up
Yep.
to B3. If you're sitting at like plus 50, you're probably in.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people pretty positive this season. Like, getting to 15 on it where Derek is may not cut it. You may be like
Yeah,
a
there are a
70
lot
point
of
cut
really high
line.
positive. Well, it's also because C1
Look
is
at this.
huge, 36, I
Yeah.
believe. Absolutely enormous division, which is what happens here. You have to do something to set
Mm-hmm.
yourself up and apart from the rest of the players here. But back to the game, James has a nice little
Yeah.
Pinfu hand. 3 Mon would really
Decent
help on the right.
Nishantan.
Kind of a Pinfu hand there as well. Does have a couple pairs. The 4 would really help. Across the way, nicely Peiko with the 44556. Also the Dora. Needs a pair somewhere. Has a 357 Mon as
Mm-hmm.
well. And on the left, a couple pairs, a 2 Dora. But it's
Kind of
just a
just
sad
clumsy.
hand that's just brute force cheat toy.
Could Toy. Hold on. You could call it East. You could get 1 Mon. 8 Mon 2, not too far fetched. That's a hand I see and I go, you know what? This is Cheatoy if I don't get offered, but if someone offers it, I'm going.
I mean, if you
I'm
get
hitting the
Dora,
pawn
I'm
button, I'm not
smashing
looking
the
back.
button, but
Well,
unless
Dora,
I'm
of
not
course, but
passing
even
the,
East and 1 Mon, I
I
think
would
I'd take
not
open
call the
with a
East.
hand
I
like
would
this.
definitely not call the one.
Oh,
One
1
month's
Mon's
dead now.
dead. That's waited too long. If that were me, calling it. Snap. Being aggressive on the board. The more calls you make for that pawn, the more scared everybody else is. They see Shonpai tiles, they see fear. That's the beauty of it. Look at that.
Oh, well,
4
there
Mon
is your
2.
cheat toy.
Yeah.
Broke the wrong tile.
Kept that 4 pin around. I wonder if
Are you going
there's
to
any
see a
actual
con here?
substance.
Dealer's thinking about it. Nope.
Peach.
Now
Oh,
Tempai waiting
yep.
on 6-7 Shumpon. There are 3 of them left in the wall, one across the way.
Not too bad. 6-7's hard to play, too. Tara gets to work it in for free, but Derek's going to struggle to play 6-7 so. Ooh. An Ishan 10 for Derek, pushing that Sanso. Getting a little risky. Tara gonna play Gembutsu. Probably gonna cut 6-1 if Tempai's gotten.
Uh-oh.
There's the
Don't.
There it
struggle.
goes.
Decides to check
Richitanya.
it.
And 1 Dora.
Just Tanya Dora.
Hurrah 3! No more Hurrah 3. Is that going to be James just rolling over this table
Well,
now?
friendly game of Mahjong ruined. No fun.
Oh, and just add insult to injury, throws Dora first turn.
Yeah, says I got my value. It says my Dora's
I'm
under that
out. Have
tile.
fun, guys.
Don't even need to play the top one.
And has a
If no one
decent
else
hand
got me,
even. With that
Uradora
Dora, would
do.
have a pretty decent hand here. Haku Dora 1, as it is just kind of Haku no me. It may just be folding out from turn 1, though. On the right,
Yeah.
kind of a Pinfu hand, but again, a really ugly one. Across the way, South pair, call and go, nothing fancy. On the left, it's a Pinfu hand, 5, 6, 7, or 6, 7, 8 Sancho is probably right. You need something to get that 6 pin, though. There is
Yeah.
the Haku, and definitely at that point, I definitely think that 1-so was a mistake. That is, I forgot to check Dora. Wait, it can't possibly have been. Oops.
Yeah, that's, oh, I know. I throw this tile immediately, and then you check the wall and go, well, is what it is.
Oh, and there's your 3-so. That would have filled the shape.
This is actually just advanced flowbook theory. If you hit Uradora, you need to sacrifice Dora next round to balance it out and
Cheat.
keep winning. If they make a flowbook 2, that'll actually be chapter 1 in it. Trust me, I know the guy who made it. Or who's making the second one.
John McFlow.
Flo Johnson, yeah. Hard at work every day studying the most degenerate superstitions about this game.
Well, that's
As
going to be
dealer gets
Senpai for
Senpai on
dealer
6-pin,
here.
it's
Yeah, and that
working.
6-pin is super loose on the left. I feel it comes out pretty easily.
Yeah, the only thing would be a scared Honitsu route, but I wouldn't read Honitsu. on the right unless it happens to drop more like inside Sozu and Manzu and not any Pinzu or drops. Might even come this turn. Nope.
Oh, well, I definitely think you take the Tonki here because you can switch that to something much better.
The problem is you already got a decent bit off the board. West is Dunzo, North's Dunzo,
Well,
East is
yeah, but
done,
you could
South is
draw
done,
like Tuso
green,
or
white, red.
Formon and then have a
Well,
three-sided.
Tusos. Yeah, that's true. You do get a lot of upgrades.
Yeah, I guess Tuso would be furry 10. Let's say 6-so.
Yeah, 6-0. You get 5. You get 3-so too for Yamen 3-6. It's not terrible.
Or even just a random 1-pin would do it.
Yeah, furry 10 on the 2-so. Probably wouldn't take that.
Well, there are still 3 6-pin in the wall. That's
You
Tempai
go to
across the way. Which
Tenpai,
weight is going
kind
to be
of
taken?
ugly. Probably you got a Tonki on something, right? Maybe, yep.
Donkey's the
2-so,
2. Oh,
Genbutsu
and the
do.
6 is going to
Oh,
actually fit into
the
that
pair
hand.
up. That might save Scott. Uh-oh. Scotty's
And
failed.
Dealer's going to fold
Oh,
out. Dealer
Jake's
has no
out.
interest in this whatsoever. There is
James,
only
not being
1 2-so
greedy.
left in the wall.
I guess this is pretty good first. Ah, there it is.
There's the 6.
You also don't have anything else good to throw. Yeah, dodges E-pots, but play 3-pin. I mean, still can play for K10, to be
I
fair.
definitely throw 3-pin here. And you can break last turn. You don't
There's a
have to do
lot of
anything.
6s left in the wall. Whoa, misread there?
No, that was an I'm done.
No, but 3-mon's not even safe, and 3-pin's
Well, yeah,
good
but he's
too.
just folding. Doesn't he want to tempt himself?
Well,
I've seen this type of
yeah,
thing before.
you still throw 3-pin because like
Oh,
there
yeah, I
is
definitely
option
agree. I'd
shots.
throw the 3-pin.
Yeah. Dang, everybody's folding. No one wants to deal into Grace. Oh, second chance. No. James, you got to be greedy. What if you're 1 point behind? What if this Homba changes it all in the standings?
James thinks all the flow has been given up with the Aura 3. That's the end.
That's okay. James is actually going to draw like not last 3-pin. He's going to draw 6-0 and get back into Empire. Ha! Look at that. Yep. Yeah, I know the
No,
wall.
Furry 10 3-pin Genbutsu.
It doesn't matter. It's K10. Although, might fold out still on the scary last draw. Are we going to see... Is
Well, should just
Tempai
throw
push? Nope.
3-pin. Like,
7
regardless.
Mon is pretty safe. Yeah.
All right, well, gets the Tempai payments out of it.
3-pin, max enthusiast, clearly in the pilot seat. Knows that the 3-pin draws in good tiles around it. Much like Dustin would say about the 3-so.
Well, cuts the 1-mon. Would have accepted Dora. Definitely sees the Tanya here, but wants to hold the Yakuai for now. I don't like this. Or definitely getting the
Get the
Hatsu or the
Dora you played
June.
as a
On the
Yonkin
right, kind of a
357.
Pinfu hand, maybe an Itsu and Mon, especially getting an 8-mon or say a 4-mon. Across the way,
Just ugly slow. Forcing
kind
the
of a
E2 though.
Pinfu, nothing fancy. Floaters everywhere. 6, 7, 8
Mhm.
Sanshku now potential on the left. Hatsu pair can probably just call and go. And at 30,600, you're
Yeah.
just looking for something quick, especially when there's 2,500 in the middle from the 5 home bun Arichi stick.
Yeah, there's a lot of incentive. People want to play. Ooh, dealer's starting to get a little scary. Some interesting routes dealer can choose to go on too with certain draws.
Well,
Might
Derek
go
on the
towards the
right is
Shinitsu
just brute
Tanya
forcing
uncommitted.
Honitsu out of this.
That's good. 2-pin. Tatsu gonna get called by
Pump.
Scott on the left.
You have to call that one, I
Does.
feel. You just need
Yeah,
the
especially with
value.
Dora.
Now, the
Lots of
question
good
is, are we going to
stuff.
see James just go out for Chinitsu? And the answer is maybe.
I mean, those are good draws for it. Like I was saying, you get the right draws. It's real tempting. Shape's good.
Chi.
A lot of acceptance.
Easy
Pretty much
Chi.
any
That is Ishunten on the
pin
left.
gets you there. Now you break 5-7 Mon. Yep, is gonna do it.
Oh, I'm surprised that was not Cheed.
Yeah, that would be good. Just make
Pump.
the full switch into Honitsu. 3-6-1 Tempai. You gotta shove 7.
Yep.
Nishan 10 right now. Ishan 10 in general. Yeah, Nishan 10 for Shinitsu, Ishan 10 in general for dealer. The potentially scary hand, although there are some Pinzu dying. 1 pin completely dead in the water. Could call a 3-pin, Takion 2-pin, fun stuff like that. East probably gonna throw out. Already one out. Yeah, Derek on the right. Still not really anything going on. Might even just
Well,
back away
Derek
from the
decided to
hand.
pass both the 5-mon and the 7-mon, and I don't know why.
Maybe forcing E2 to try and like tack on just a little bit more value. Because you get
And it
E2,
seems easier to just
Honitsu,
play anything you draw is
Dora.
good enough.
I mean, that is the Mangan route. E2, Honitsu, Dora. And now we have a chance to switch into
You're
4,
not
7
switching off
mon.
Dora.
Doesn't like it.
Gee.
Yeah, Dora Tanki's too good. Or excuse me.
It's
Yeah,
Dora
getting the Dora
Nobiton, so it's
pair.
even
Dora
better.
Nobiton, yeah. Getting the Dora pair. Getting that value upgrade. 2 mon, not gonna get pushed. We're gonna throw 8 mon.
That is technically Tempai, but it's a hideous one.
Yeah, I don't think you can take that.
I think you
Just throw
cut 4-so
4/4.
here.
Might as well if you're playing the
Yeet.
hands. Get invested on something
Nope,
big.
says we're
Gonna try
going
to scare
for
the
it.
board.
So this is waiting on
It
one
is Sanoko
6-pin
on
only.
Sumo.
One 6-pin only. The 4-so is dead.
Yeah.
Oh
Would that have
no!
been good actually?
Oh yeah, well it's not Tempai, but it's a super whitey Shanten.
There's one 9-pin left, so you get the pawn on that. 4-pin still helps you. It's probably better.
It's a
The
lot.
problem is like Scott can't really back away with this hand, so Scott's never folding. And Derek's already low on points.
Right,
And
so
this
he
is a
has an
game that like
incentive to
kills
push almost
Derek's season.
anything.
Actually, Derek's still got a lot to play for, so Derek might just accept the 4th and
Oh, well now you'd
wow.
be monster Tempai.
I think you'd actually be Tempai on just 3-6 still, right? Or maybe you get 3-6-4-7. That's a weird one. There's a lot of Pinzu dead out that help
Yeah.
that. So I think it's Tempai, but it's still not great.
Actually, the question is, where's that 6-pin? Oh, I think that would have been the Sumo.
Yeah. Tough. Nope, doesn't hit the Hote.
Well, just going to
Alba
be 2
counter
players
goes up.
Tempai. I'm curious to know where that 6-pin was, because man, that Sumo there would have been hilarious. But dealer gets
Ooh.
another repeat. James trying to run the score up here. Has a potential Ricci Pinfu Dora 1. Great shapes. On the right, couple one-so and Anko of tone, but nothing for value. It's just going to be a Ricci or Ricci plus Dora. A hand's not that impressive. Maybe you could keep drawing pairs and go Toy Toy or Cheetoy or something. Across the way, cuts the Dora shape. Had a 2-4-so or 3-so's Dora and cuts the 2. Definitely feeling the Cheetoy slash Toy Toy out of this. On the left, we have definitely a Pinfu shape there. Could turn into a Cheetoy, but I think you could even get Ipeco or dare I say Rianpeco.
I mean Ryan could be coming to town, but
If you draw like
he's feeling
8-mon,
shy.
you can start thinking about it.
I mean the
Okay,
problem is 2-4s are already dead, so you'd probably sooner draw 1-1. Again, Ryan's a busy guy. He doesn't come around town too often.
Just need an 8-mon, and then you can start thinking.
Cheetoy. It may just be Cheetoy. That's one pair in the discards. Needs at least 2 more. Get Cheetoy Tenpai. We all know that one's real. We also have E Shanten on the right for Derek. Very interesting hand actually. E Shanten for Cheetoy, but
Yeah, it's
also
Ishanten
like
for Cheetoy, but I want to go Toy Toy with that.
yeah, Toy Toy Honitsu. Maybe even Toy Toy Honitsu.
I might have
Get the
even
right
pulled the
things.
5-pin.
Yeah, I think I
Yeet.
like 5-pin
Well,
pawn.
doesn't matter. Actually,
I'm
this
gonna
looks
take Ricci
really
Honitsu.
good. This is
The problem
Ricci Cheetoy on
is,
Chute. It's cheap is the problem. However, you
yeah,
might
that's
see
what
an
I was
Ipatsu.
thinking.
You might see an Ipatsu, and there it
Does hit the
goes. That is
Ipatsu
not
dealer.
cheap then. Ricci
A lot of
Ipatsu
value on the
Joitsu.
dealer.
Or a 2. Yeah, that wasn't cheap.
Gross.
Okay, so in fairness, this is payback for the Ura 3.
That's fair.
It's not
And
full
this
payback,
actually,
but that is at least some justice.
this puts Derek really well into the game and brings James down, especially
Yeah,
with this
the other
dealer
2
high pie.
players are like, wait, I thought I was safe. But Derek off that Hanemon also has a great starting end here as dealer.
Even
Double
Stevens.
Yakuhai pairs can even go Honitsu here if you got the 1-3-5. Great
Mhm.
value, decent shapes, very callable. On the right, kind of a Pinfu hand, decent there. Also has a Dora across the
Boom.
way. Pinfu hand, pretty weak one though. And on the left, we see the one pin Pon definitely going for Chinitsu.
Yeah, very aggressive, but I think you have to. It's good value. It kind of. I also like forcing hands like this, especially when I have some points to give, because you have a little bit of safety, even though you're putting yourself at risk. And like, again, the fear that people fear when the Chinitsu becomes a little bit realer really makes them struggle. It makes them clock out more often. The threat of dropping that Pinzu might just be just enough to get them to fold where they wouldn't help slow down the board.
I
There's a
think a
lot of
7
benefits
should
to
be a
it.
Chi.
Yeah, I think you
You
have
do have the
to. You're racing
overlap, which
against the
isn't
clock.
great, but I definitely take that one.
You have
There's a
double Yakuhide
3.
to just get the
Not
Honba,
going to
shut
take
down the
that
really
one.
bad expensive hand.
Well, that's the other problem with the Chinitsu is you're seeing all those Pinzu just dying.
Yeah. Can't take that.
I think you almost have to Chi this one now. Nope.
Oh, now might be going towards Honitsu.
Yeah, but why was the 7 not taken? Or I think even the 3 would have been
Boom.
usable.
I don't know. Maybe just not committal enough.
Wasn't
Boom.
convinced of it until now. Okay, makes it to
No,
Ishan
well,
10.
that'll do it. Mangan brewing. Not in Tempai yet, but barking up that tree. Yeah, nobody with really legs to fight. Terra still building up the hands. Might have an ugly penchant wait
Chi.
in the Shinizu suit across. Oh, and he's
And
gonna
that's
force
definitely going for his
Sanshoku.
brute force Sanshoku.
Ugh, not a huge fan of that,
Chi.
especially because 9-so is getting played by the dealer, and that is going to be
Ooh, well,
your.
that's a fun draw.
And it's 8-so Tempai. Yeah,
Yep, just waiting on
cuts
3.
it.
Oh,
Got the
no!
Sanso. Don't throw that.
Okay,
Yeah,
not going to throw it at least just yet. We'll see if it comes out later.
Chi.
yeah. It's big risk, but not big value for Terra. So I'm wondering if we're gonna back up, reassess. This is still a 3-so Tempai if we throw 1-so.
Can't Chi the 6.
Building out the Suji.
That's
Chi.
Tempai. If you Chi it, wait on 3-so. 3-so would be double Ronin. Wait, no, that's not Tempai. Never mind.
Yep, it's close.
I
Not quite there.
expected it to be Tempai, but it's not. And
Ooh,
unfortunately, that's
plays
not
a
how it works.
2-so. Not a big fan of that. I think you throw 8-so.
I think you just fold.
Yeah, or that.
If you're not
Not
Tempai, you
too
shouldn't be
opposed.
throwing Sozu, period.
There's too many scary hands on the board. Dealer Honitsu, Shinitsu to the right, because every other honor is dead, so you know that it's not going to be Honitsu.
I mean, even the 1-so is a bit of a shove here. From first place, there's no
Yeah.
reason to do it, I feel. Well, that's Tempai on the right, and there it
Boom.
goes!
Yeah, and that is a devastating Mangan. That is going to shut Terra down and give another Honba. And what a starter hand. Kanchan Phil just to set the tone as
Yeah, the
Derek
problem is the
climbing
rest
to
of the
try to
hand's
get
kind of
James.
trash. That's probably
Just
just a
draw
Ricci
perfectly for 3
hand.
turns.
Ricci
You can get a
Pinfu is
Pinfu out
probably
of
your
that,
best
yeah.
route. On the right, that's a much better hand. Honitsu with a potential Dora. So you can pair
Mm-hmm.
up the Dora and have a monster. Across the way, an ugly Pinfu, maybe a 1-2 for
Yeah,
Sanchoku.
see
Then on
you,
the
Row
left,
2.
Hatsu pair, and maybe some sort of. I mean, I
I
want to
mean,
say
just
Sanchoku or Cheetoid. It's just not there for either of them. It's just an
honestly,
ugly hand that has to have Hatsu.
on the left, I might even just cut Hatsu and go
Boom.
towards like
I'm
a
looking for
Pinfu
an excuse to
Tanyao.
do so. That is how I
Yeah.
would approach that hand.
And Terra is all in on Honitsu, cuts the Formon and pawns the 8.
Well, you're honestly just looking for Dorotonki in a hand like that. You don't need value. Chun is your value.
Yeah. Dealer trying to increase it, going towards the Tanyao type of vibe for
Well,
the
there's
hand.
the 2-mon Anko on the left. I guess you just cut 4-9 pin now.
Helps. Yeah.
You may end up just using Hatsu as your pair. That's good. Oh, there's your Chun pair up. Now you can just call the Shaw and you're in Tempai.
Problem being, there's already a shot on the board though, so Only one left in the wall. If it's buried, could
Oh,
get
I hate.
awkward on that Shabo.
I
Yeah, you gotta
kind of
keep
hate
that
cutting the
5.
5 so, but at the same time, it
Kang.
will definitely disguise this hand. We see a Khan on the left and the
True.
2-mon. 1-mon is now Dora, but no one has any.
Yeah, it's pretty dead. There is technically still acceptance for a pair left, but
Now that 6-pin's an interesting draw. Could cut 1-2 and just go out to Zuke.
Auto Zuka on the door though, I would not feel confident. I'd much rather just play Honitsu, keep the option open. If someone draws the West, odds are it comes out.
Nice fill for dealer. Now
Do you cut
Isha
6-0?
can throw a so. There it goes.
That's
Oh, and now you
2-0.
would be Tempai.
Yeah, but again, Auto Zuka just that tune. No guarantee it's coming out from anybody. This has been a pretty defensive table, all things considered.
I think
Um,
Yohatsu Hatsu now. Nope,
yeah, I
throws the
like
4.
Katsuhatsu there. Or at least throw like 6-7 or something. Get your Shabo set up. Catch somebody off guard with Hatsu.
Nice fill across the way. That's Tempai. Chun may come out.
Empire on 4, so it's ugly. Is
Nope,
gonna
not
back
taking
up.
it. That Chun's
Yeah,
ever coming out. That seems to be the decision.
looking at Tonki on it. Very respectable.
We
Wider
can't really
Ish on 10 for
Tonki unless
Derek
you
now.
pull a 3-mon out of the wall.
Well, you also, I think the Monzu has a lot of upgrades. Like you get
This is the problem with that 5 so cut is now you
2,
could be
4, 7,
4,
1.
5, 5, 6, 6, and you'd feel so much better about this hand. Instead of this penchant
Each.
that has to fill.
Oh, look at
Senpai for
that.
dealer. Of course, the
Although
8 cannot
8-0s are
win. This is a
dead.
really bad weight that only has 1 out left.
Just 2 5 says, yeah, that's not coming out of Terra's
Vici,
hand, I don't
Pinfu,
think.
Tanyo.
Although Terra's not convinced, doesn't like the 1-mon. Scared of the Tonki, doesn't want to play it.
Well, there's Senpai on the left.
And Senpai probably counter Rishi on
I think
force,
you have
4
to. You
pin.
get safe
Or
entry. I
7
Each.
feel
pin,
there's
7
no
pin.
reason not to.
Yeah.
The
It's
7
too
is safe
good.
entry here. Throws the Nakazuji 4.
Interesting.
I feel they should always be the 7.
It should definitely be.
Oh,
Sumo.
there's the 5. Just sumo.
Okay.
Easy game. Richi sumo. Pinfu Tanyo. 2 aura
And are we gonna hit the
chances and misses
Ura?
both.
Miss both. So cheaps out a little bit.
But we'll be in
Misses.
first
Okay.
place now. Even after that Aura 3 Hanemon deal into dealer is back in first. Couple monster hands. And has a decent hand here. It's not great. There's not much value, but you can get Ricci Pinfu out of this. On the right, kind of a Tanya hand. The 1-3 isn't particularly usable, so I'm just looking for any excuse to call for anything.
It
The
could
problem is
be
you're at
Doko too.
7,900. You need some value out of this, but I'm just not seeing it. Well, the
Doko
other problem with
Tanyo.
Doko is that 8 so is also your door indicator, so it's really bad.
It's fine.
Across the
Just draw
way,
the
you have the
third.
Peiko and pretty good shapes.
Oh
So
wow,
square,
yeah.
Ricci Pinfu Peiko
Ipeco.
looks good. On the left, I think that's just a brute force on it. So although you do have the door, if you pair up Dora, you have a lot of other options. That's why all those Yakuhai are being held for now.
Mm-hmm. Give yourself some flexibility, some nice Shabas of like Doriaku weights.
I think I'd
Not a
cut
lot
the
of
8 so here.
options.
No, cuts the 2. I want to use the Dora and I want to hedge the Itsu with a hand like that.
Yeah, I
Because
think
again,
the
you need
Itsu is
value, and
gonna
I'm just not
miss.
seeing it if you're cutting 2 so.
Cut 3 mon. You're not really fishing for Sanshoku any which way.
Oh, well, there's your 7, and I'd really like to have the 2 so back. Like, really like
Yeah,
to have the 2 so back.
definitely more than that floating 3 mon.
Well, at 8, I'm mildly surprised the 8 was not cheat. I would have taken that one.
Down to the Honitsu Force. Yeah, especially if you're
Right.
gonna drop the 9 so after. Maybe just not quite comfortable with how many pins
Wanted,
you were in
if
the
any of
hand.
these were Yakuhai were paired up, I think you just always call it.
Yeah.
But okay, just draw everything yourself. That'll fix a
Yeah, see, that's
problem.
the problem. You call, you shift the wall, you lose all these great pin draws. You forgot to check, you forgot to look inside of the wall, Korak. That's what you gotta do to win out C1. There's no other way around it. You check the wall, you see
I
what's
think you
coming
have
up,
to
you
cheat
play
this. You
around it.
have to take this one.
That, yeah, I think the 2-4 offer is way, way too good.
Yeah, that fixes your weakest block in the whole hand. I think that's just a miss.
Yeah, you get better pawn outs. I mean, this just feels like, you know what? If a miracle happens and I draw a closed tempai, I'm taking it.
リーチ
Otherwise, I'm just gonna back out of this hand
In the
whenever
meantime, we have
any
Tempai
push
Boom.
across the
comes.
way. Ricci, Ipeko, Dora 1 on 5 so. There is 1 5 so on the wall. Dealer is now Tempai for Tanya only on 2 5 Mon.
Yeah, much stronger weight. 5-7s are very sticky in hands too. It's just about whether people are gonna fold out around it. And Tara's got the little wiggle. Kimawashi just a bit. Really would like E2 here. Not
Well,
gonna
now I
have it
think it just
though.
comes out.
ロン
Yeah.
Goes the Suji to the 5, deals into the dealer, and you go, wait, you were waiting on that?
Cheap, but problem is second and third are very close, so
And the
those
dealer
points matter.
repeat, so it's a direct hit. And dealer has a mediocre
Decent
hand, few
hand.
pairs, Ricci Pinfu. Not even
Probably
Pinfu, maybe
just
just
a
be Ricci
Ricci no
Ipeko.
me. It's a good Hamba builder. Ooh, might be able to move into an E2 route here though.
Well, the question is how much you sell out, and the answer is a lot. If you're cutting the
Wow.
tube on there,
You're
you
building
want
out E2
Honitsu.
routes even, yeah.
Yeah, on the right, 2, 3, 4, Sanshku looks pretty good. Across
What
the
a
way,
draw.
Haku pair and
Not much
Adora.
other
So I may just
legs.
call and go, get to 30,000. Seems fine to me. On the left, Chunonko and great shapes. Would love a
He
5
shut
mon. Of
down.
course, anytime you say, I'd love Adora, the
Boom.
answer is, well, duh, I'd like Adora.
Yeah. Really wants to hit 6-9 mon there. Drop the 4 mon for Tempai on 1-4 so.
Well, you can
リーチ
just reach you the
Vulcan
4 here
Novaton too.
anyway. Take your Nobeton. You can cut the Chun and wait on Dora, but I hate it. I would
Ugh.
always cut the
Yeah.
4.
Same value either way. You're giving up 1 Han. You just have a much better weight on
I mean, you can
6-9.
see the long decision time. Doesn't really like it, but it's definitely the right play.
Probably just checking it through and saying, thinking, is there really any reason to cut this 5? And the answer is just no. Or is there any reason to go for the 5? And the answer is just always no. No reason over just
There
taking
are
the better
arguments
weight.
if you had red 5s to maybe look for the double
Yeah,
Dora
red 5's when
Turbo.
you get +2 Han and you get more value
But
from it. But
even
when
then,
it's
I'd
even
still
like
take the
this,
6-9.
yeah.
Meanwhile, dealer playing towards Chitoy now.
Yeah, looking to be a little bit more defensive. Folded north-north though. It's gonna hurt the odds
Boom.
just a bit.
Oh, Poln's going Toy Toy.
Oh, we're being a dog with this hand. I love it. 1 pin, 9 pin, both looking great. 5s and 4s coming out, buffing that 6 pin. Just gotta find one more. Can even wiggle down to it. Huge fan. This is a real toyer hand. Although you gotta be a little bit bold. Check that south. Ooh, checks the 1.
Well, no, that's
Gets
Suji with the
Suji,
4.
yeah.
That's a perfectly acceptable cut. I might have also got an
Yeah,
8 pin, given there is an 8 pin out.
that's true. Suji as well.
This is a hand where you look at it and go, I love this Shidetsu. Wait, I called. Oops.
Yeah, well. Again, you get your Hamba. All's well that ends well.
ボ
Then
ン
I have all 4 5 so in the hand across the
Throw 8
way.
pin, I would think. Gonna check the 3 pin, be a little bit more aggressive. Might tip the board off that there's a Tenpai that doesn't exist. 8 pin pair might be more likely to be thrown, being Suji too. If 8 pins paired up and last one drawn by the table. Although with no 3 pins out, I think you just have to keep 3 pin here. You need to keep as many draws available for you to get that last pair at least.
Oh, Tempai across the way on 6-9. Wait, what? Oh, is terrified of the South from the
Yeah,
dealer
it doesn't
here.
like Shompai South.
Boom.
It
I
looks
mean, that's
bad.
Dora. You
Look
have
bad
to pull
against
that one.
dealer.
That's
Yeah.
not really a question. Now, this is Tempai or K10, but would deal in to this Dora.
That South Shompai scary. Yep.
It is
Derek
scary. I
doesn't like
won't
it.
throw it.
This late, it's one of those situations where it may not have
雲
been that scary 3 and
Just
6,
Sumo.
but
Does get the extra food there from the Sumo. This is going to be Ricci Sumo Chun. And the Aura makes the
and
food
the
irrelevant and jumps into first place. Big win there for James as we're heading to all last. very long South 3, but we're through it and finally into all last. And it is Terra's chance to make the comeback, and this is probably not the hand to do it. There's a distance, 678 Sanshku. There's an Ipeko in
You just
so,
gotta
but
wait
the
until
hand's just
row
really
2.
bad.
Yeah, slow.
On
Might
the
get face
right, kind of
down.
a pinfu hand, nothing particularly good. 3 pin and 3 would really help. Across the way, probably a Tanyao. You don't need anything fancy, you just want the hand over with. And on the left, we see the Chun Pon. I think you just brute force Honitsu now.
Oh yeah, I mean that's the game plan. You need 3 Han in order to make the first, and it's right there. You have good shapes to it. It's a threat on the board that limits what James can drop because James doesn't want to be feeding you. It's just a very aggressive yet also defensive play at the same time.
Yeah, I
It's going to
like
work
it.
very, very well for the goals of this hand.
Man, there it is. There's the brute force.
Ooh,
Now, interesting. Dealer
dealer's shaping
does
up.
not take the Chi Toy route. I think I'd cut the 2 pin. Not
Yeah, I
because I
think you
like the
have
Chi
to
Toy, but because I don't think the 2 really
hedge
brings much
all
to
your
this hand.
bets.
And there goes your door. I wonder why the door was cut earlier, because I think this hand could
Your
have had a lot
dealer
more value.
probably just hoping to speed up.
Yeah, well, now Ishun Tank can call the Easton would be Tempai
Yeet.
on it.
Only one East
Tempai,
left
speaking
though.
of, there it is across
By
the way.
cross, 3-6 reach ton Pinfu.
Yeah, reach pin Futenyo, very nice hand. And oh well,
6
that 8 pin
gone.
is very definitely a defensive play. I
9-9
feel
might
when
come
you're at
out first.
5600, you should be shoving a little harder. And that's going to
Pump.
mean you pulling, and that is Tempai, 2 mon, 7 mon.
Lichi.
Oh, East Anko,
There's the
we're fighting.
slam.
8 mon 6 pin. Manzu, a dangerous suit. 9 mon gets thrown.
You
Mochi's
just
all
shove. You don't
around.
care at this point. If you die, you die. And
Oh,
that's
that
Tempai on
forfeit's
the
so good. What
right.
do you even throw?
Doesn't take it though. Would have dealt in.
Smart call, works around. Knows trouble is brewing. 9 mon safe. Especially with that dealer reach. Scary scenarios.
There's a 2. That would deal in as well. There's the 7.
Dunk.
The 7
That's
gets
gonna deal
played.
in.
Honitsu gets dealt.
Chun Honitsu. That's gonna be comeback here. The Gyakuten and Derek. Boy, those 2 were just at each other's throats all game, but Derek gets the
Just
best at the very
trades
end there.
back and
Plus
forth all table.
33.4. Really tough gameplay. James, still a solid result there at 15.9. In third, going to be Scott with the minus 8.9. And Tara just didn't get it together there. Minus 40.4. I think a big hit here into the negatives.
Yeah, that one rough deal in that just really set the game. And I mean, wasn't even meant to be that expensive. Just got hit by Ura 3 at the dealer dealing end. Roll the dice was not in favor with that one. And that's going to be a shakeup to the bottom of those C standings. Derek coming out the victor.
And Derek just breaking up into the feeling good about promotion area, but has so
Mm-hmm.
many games left.
A lot of games. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think any penalties have been taken because Derek's score probably would be lower
Yeah, Derek's
just on an
score looks
eyeball.
like they just someone
Looks
has
normal
not
for
scheduled
13
their games.
games.
And getting
Yeah.
games scheduled, especially in C1, can be very difficult because you don't have
Mm-hmm.
people that have been around the league and done this
Not
for
used to
months.
setting aside, not used to being proactive
Yeah,
when it's going to
getting
get hard
4
to
people
schedule.
together is not as easy as it sounds, even if it is just 2 to 4 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
Because it means everyone has to do it. You have different time zones, different
Yeah.
schedules, different work schedules, all that fun stuff. But hey, I know you've had a problem with that, but I think you don't have to deal with waking up at 5 in the morning anymore.
uh, I got this week. School's finally getting out. Little brats are taking their exams and sending the ship home, much like we're doing in this Armel season. And let me tell you, not a better time for them to do it with the absolutely to die for session 6 coming up. Just beginning, hopefully next week
Well, it'll
on all
start next
tables. A
week.
lot
The
of snake
problem's going to
ladders.
be that there is a
Ishigami towards
very
the last
large
weekend.
tournament involving 208 people minimum that is going to be in New
Hmm.
York City at the same time, and getting game scheduled is going to be absolutely terrible.
Yeah, hoping that some of the snake leagues like B1 A1 and A2 can get their games scheduled. Jeez, B2 is a snake too this season. Hoping
Yeah,
all
and
those
I
leagues can really
warned
get
people ahead of
scheduled to
time,
set
like,
up
"Please
session
get your
6.
games in, it's gonna be really bad."
Yeah, we gotta give everything we can, even getting like this Saturday or Friday open to know who we're playing and try to knock some out might be the way to go.
Alrighty, so we have that coming up. There is also the WRC team tournament event that's going on in Rolo. That is a long-term 4-month
That'll be
league,
interesting.
but it's not cheap. It's $110 entry fee for 4 months, and you'll be playing Sunday mornings. No, Saturday mornings, I think,
Yep. Saturdays from 10 to 2, the lobby will be live.
in
And it's your
Eastern
best
time. So
streak
it's
of 20. Yeah, Eastern.
it's 7 to 11 Western. But as of now, there are 120 Japanese pros that are signed up for it. So
There are
that
120?
confirmed by Gemma as of this morning, just now, including one team with all three WRC winners.
It is going to be very exciting. I'm curious to see who the US is going to put up. I know my
I
club
know
is going to be
there are going to
putting
be
up
at
a
least
team.
two teams. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure Snake Shack is putting one together. I think PML is putting one together, but those are the only ones I'm aware of.
DC's putting one together. We just announced we're looking out for people from the club to join today. We currently have 2 of 4.
Well,
We're going to
see,
be
if you'd have
working
told me
through
that, I
seeing what's
probably would
going
have
on.
joined you, but I already jumped on another team.
Oh, look at this. Snake Shack PML, what's going on?
Nah, I'm with the PMLers for now. It was supposed to be the Armel team, but they couldn't find anyone.
Well, there's still a lot of time left. We got a
There
month until it starts. Who knows who might come out of the woodworks? That'll be really fun to see. And for people to kind of grind up alongside Armel. I'd imagine the two environments will probably be pretty, even though the rule sets are similar, the
is
meta
going to be
environments
completely
will
different. You have
definitely
pros
adapt
who really
differently.
like Dama, and you just don't really see a lot of Dama in the American structure
Hmm.
because it's just not really rewarded that heavily. You see the blatant aggression pushing for Tempai. Just I've described A1 as just a bar knuckle brawl,
Yeah.
and it feels a lot more like A2. Feels a little more like the pro style where you're just building the slow, closed hands. A1 just doesn't work that way because we'll just punch you in the gut whether you're trying to do it. Whether you're trying to build that nice, slow, closed hand, just take a couple sucker punches at you. It's
Hmm.
very frustrating.
That's what makes it fun, though. Just going all out, bearing your mahjong versus the world. That's what the game was meant for, you know?
All right. So with that, I think we're going to wrap it up here. Thanks
Yep.
to Nathaniel for the early commentary, and he's
Your
also been
shout
running
outs.
the stream behind the scenes. Of course, we have Harrison, and this is Korak for the American Reach Mahjong League. Listen, when I say check out our socials, all that stuff, you've heard this
Hmm.
spiel before.
Yep.
So,
Be here Wednesday. We're doing another stream. May even get one tomorrow. No promises. Still working that out. But definitely Wednesday, we're bringing you more insanely crazy Session 5 action. Again, it only gets more and more important every single game from here on out as we head towards the end of the spring 2024 season.
all right, then, take care, all. Good night.